Hello again, everybody, and welcome to 4-Star Chicago Sports. The free agent frenzy hit the wall this afternoon. That's right, the Bears. I personally, we'll get to the boys here in a second, love what they did on the defensive side of the ball, emphasize some speed, physicality, and coverage skills, some things that were lacking in this defense last year. As it stands right now, we still have a bunch of holes to fill, but I think we got off to a good start. We're going to get into it with you right after this.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars align. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago.
Well, boys, I'll say this. When it started and Neville Gallimore was the first guy that came out, I was a little upset. And I'm like, oh, no, here we go. Value depth signings, contracts, they're going to be voided and put away. But then Coby Bryant gets signed and Devin Bush gets signed. And I think the Bears got better at both positions because I believe the way I'm reading it, Coby Bryant's going to be taking over for Kevin Byard. And I think that's an upgrade. And Devin Bush is an upgrade across all linebackers on this field when you talk about coverage, speed,
now
physicality.
Braxton Jones. Sorry, that just hit my phone. Braxton Jones just got a 1-year deal with the Bears.
Oh, great. So it looks like we might deal with Braxton Jones next year, battling with Theo Benedict at the left tackle position. That should be quite interesting. So, boys, what are your initial reactions, man? We got in here and Poles got some stuff done. You know what? My favorite part about this, he re-signs DeMarco Jackson. He re-signs Devin Bush. I believe those 2 contracts were $13.75 million. He cuts Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds was $15 million. Saved a little cash. We got a lot of holes to fill, but smart economics are working in his favor once again. What do you guys take? Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Sean. He attacked a position. You know, this linebacking core, even with TJ Edwards, was less than impressive as far as I was concerned. And you really just eliminated a need in the draft. Now, I'm not saying the Bears can't go out and get themselves a linebacker in this draft. It's got a really strong class in 2026, but I think he's doing something that I had kind of talked about a couple weeks ago is if Ben Johnson wants some flexibility to draft players on offense, it would be important for Ryan Poles to solidify some of the needs they have on the defensive side of the football before the draft came. And I think between Bush, Edwards, and Jackson, I think you're pretty solid there. Like I said, if you want to draft a future piece of linebacker, some guy who might start for you one day, I don't think it hurts. But to eliminate an entire position in one day in free agency is a pretty big win for the Bears. And then, I was pretty upset, Sean, like you were with Gallimore, but the more you updated me, honestly, the more homework Sean did, the more I learned this kid's actually got a pretty good fit for what Dennis Allen's trying to do here in Chicago. So I think Dennis Allen has helped directing Ryan Poles with the signings they've made at free agency, and you can tell speed is a major factor. Mm-hmm. And then it does imply to me, a lot of Bears fans disputed this, but it does imply to me that both Byard and Brisker are probably on the way out, and you're not going to see those guys back here, but you at least got a quality starter in Coby Bryant. So he has made some moves that I think have already improved this defense from where they were a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, financially, it's definitely an upgrade. I mean, you basically just got 2 linebackers for the price of 1. I like Devin Bush a lot. I know I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and social media saying they're not a big fan of Devin Bush. I don't see how not, man. I mean, even if you don't like the PFF numbers, which are absolutely phenomenal, guys, go look at the tape. I mean, he's a damn good athlete. He was a high draft pick. Yeah, he had some slow years to start his career, but he's kind of had a breakout year last year. And that would be the year that you'd sign a player, right? When he's on the upward trajectory. I mean, the future is bright for Devin Bush. I really like the signing. I like the Coby Bryant signing a lot. If you read a couple articles right now, there are a couple premier sports writers who say he was the best available free agent safety, maybe outside of Byard. But you guys, I mean, just look at the age, right? At some point, this Bears team has to get younger. At some point, if you want to be a Super Bowl contender, you have to have a lot of youth in the roster. I love Kevin Byard. I love what he did here. He's actually one of my favorite Bears in the last probably decade, but you can't keep signing guys who are 32, 33, 34, 35 years old and expect the team to get better. These guys are only get worse from this point on in their career. I mean, you guys, we knew it wasn't going to be a ton. The Bears weren't going to go out and get the best available players in free agency. They just didn't have the money for it. John Franklin Myers was a pipe dream. We knew they were going to go spend a bunch of money on the defensive line. Ryan Poles said that in his presser. They added another depth piece, somebody who can give both Grady Jarrett and Javon Dexter some time off. Maybe they get better due to the rotation. So far, what he's done, man, if you look at the financials, especially the way he structured that contract for Coby Bryant, I love what Ryan Poles has done in day one of the tampering period.
Yeah, Coby Bryant's getting paid on the back end, 1.5 million this year in base salary in 26, 12.25 in 27, 11.75 in 28, 25.75 million guaranteed. So, and he's got some other roster accelerators that he can put on there. But this is exactly kind of, I know Brandon, you weren't on the show on Wednesday, but I was saying on Wednesday, figuring out a way to get quality players under contract while manipulating the cap and pushing money down the line, something that the Chicago Bears haven't done in former regimes. So this was huge. When I saw that contract come out, I started thinking to myself, Poles is finally getting it. He's starting to figure out how to keep us relevant, add some talent, add some depth. And now you open up the draft and say, well, Caden McDonald, Peter Woods, these guys are the guys that are going to start to come to your head unless you're thinking left tackle position, which we haven't addressed yet either, signing Braxton Jones, having Theo Benedict back under contract. But at the same time, if you want to go left tackle, I think you really opened up your draft here. You addressed two major linebackers, one huge safety. I think you're set going into the draft. What do you guys think with Poles cooking here? Is he good to go now? Are we focused dead set defensive line in this draft and building that parts that good teams don't give up in 100 days from now or less than that?
Yeah, and I think you can focus a little less on needs or quality starters in free agency because day one's already in the books. These guys fall off the board pretty quickly. Ryan Poles can make some of the, like a Zacchaeus kind of signing if he wants a receiver now that you've moved on from Moore. But another thing about Coby Bryant, guys, that I thought about today that I think means a lot to a locker room, maybe more than an organization is this kid just won a Super Bowl. It's a big deal. You were 2 games away from getting there yourself just a year ago. I don't know. This roster didn't have much experience in ways besides Joe Tooney in ways of players that have been there and done it before. And I think adding a guy like that to the secondary, as much of a leader as Byard was, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Coby Bryant come step into this role and be a leader on this defense already. So I think that was huge. But yeah, Sean, like I said, getting a player here and a player there at this position and that position and this group and that unit is good in its own right. But to address an entire, core of players like you did at the linebacker, because I think DeMarco Jackson is in line for us. It's implied that now DeMarco Jackson won't be a starter on this defense. I would imagine TJ Edwards and Bush are, but you just bought yourself a little more wiggle room when it comes to this draft for sure. And I think Ben Johnson's going to stress that heavily when it comes to what Ryan Poles is doing in this and free agency, especially because we do have needs at left tackle. He might want another receiver after moving on from Moore. He might want a running back, guys. Sean, I saw your mock draft. You took Price. Yeah. I wouldn't hate it if the Bears did that. And now that you've shored up that linebacking core, you've got the room to do it. And I agree with you, Sean. I still think tackle and edge is the approach here. I still think, I to be honest with you guys, we'll get into this a little bit. I know you guys are both here for a brief period of time, but this in every way points to the Bears drafting a safety in the first round. I don't think Brister's coming back here yet. I think they're content with Coby Bryant being your starter and drafting your other starter, but that would imply that he's going to be a high pick. That's what I think. I think the Bears are going to take their other starting safety with a high draft pick.
What about that defensive line at that first pick? If Peter Woods or
you're going to take the best guy that's available to you, but I do think safety just became a bigger priority than it was.
J2K says he thinks the LT is off the board for needs as well. Is that J2K? Is that off the signing of Braxton Jones and the re-signing of Theo Benedict? Is that you're thinking the Bears will move on from that position? What you got, Kyle?
No disrespect to J2K at all, but I completely disagree. I mean, you guys basically, if you look at the roster right now, the Bears are the exact same spot left tackle they were going into the season, going into the draft last year. I mean, they have Braxton Jones,
Worse. They
Theo
don't have
Bennett.
Trapillo. Yeah.
Well, hold on. Trapillo's out for this. You're going to be basically out for the season. We heard Ryan Poles say it's going to be a lost season for Trapillo. They basically have Theo Bennett and Braxton Jones. Those are two options. They're probably going to go into the draft in the second, third round and draft another left tackle to compete with those guys, just like they did Ozzie Trapillo last year. I 100% expect the Bears to add another left tackle. When it comes to the safety position, we talked about this on the show last week, Sean, on Wednesday. We knew the Bears were going to sign safety in free agency. We knew it, right? I think most of us suspected it was probably going to be Kevin Byard. We were wrong. They obviously decided to go with Coby Bryant from the Seahawks. And like you said, great point. The guy who brings a championship caliber pedigree in here now. They probably believe, Sean, I mean, we talked about this a little bit today. Correct me if you think I'm wrong, but they probably believe that there's the coverage safety is a little bit stronger in this draft. I know, Sean, you said you like a lot of the strong safeties, a lot of the box safeties, but they picked the guy they thought was the best available free agent, and they'll address the other safety need in the draft. We knew that this team was going to do most of their offseason work in the draft. They didn't have a ton of money under the cap. We knew that they couldn't sign everybody they wanted to. This was going to be a relatively quiet offseason for the Bears. They weren't going to win the offseason for the third season in a row. We knew that. The Bears are going to have to fix the rest of these holes in the draft. And I think that's the best way to do it, guys. When you're talking about paying your quarterback close to what, $500 million next season or the season following, you're going to have guys on a rookie contracts, and a lot of them. The Bears have a ton of holes in this roster. I think going into next season, they have 26 men under contract. A lot of these guys the Bears are going to add this offseason are going to be either in the draft or undrafted free agents. And I think we expected that going into this offseason. I think we talked about it numerous times. There's still a possibility that the Bears make a couple more moves in free agency, but I'd expect most of the damage to be done in the draft coming up.
Yeah, and I know I told you earlier, I was thinking about maybe reuniting with Darnell Mooney, but he might be out of the Bears price range. And I mean, I guess the elephant in the room, you know, Kyle and I, we got to talk about it, and I think you guys did on Thursday. I can't remember when they signed Bradbury, but Bradbury being here at center, and I know it's a mixed bag for everybody. That was the first signing of the offseason for the Bears. One nugget I did find, and I don't know if this had any, you know, role in him coming here, but Bradbury and Joe Thuney were roommates at North Carolina State. So those two being roommates and probably really good friends at this point, I don't know if that had some part in the decision to be here. But again, now you're sitting Bradbury in between Thuney and Jackson. And when you really look at Bradbury's tape, it doesn't blow you away, but it also doesn't leave you like, man, this guy sucks. He's just kind of, I mean, am I wrong? I mean,
I think he was the best available option. Is he my favorite? Is he better than Drew Dalman? No, not at all. I mean, like we talked about this numerous times, it's not the Bears' fault. There's nothing they had no idea Drew Dalman was going to retire. It's just an unfortunate series of events for the Bears. Sean, I think they were afraid. I mean, look, we talked about Tyler Biadasz. He never even got to the Chicago Bears. He never left LA without a contract. He left. He went to LA. They signed him. We were talking about McGovern. Sean, you liked him a lot. He re-signed with the Bills. We talked about Lindenbaum. We knew he was probably going to be out of the Bears' price range. He signs in Oakland.
That's way too much, too, by the way.
In Vegas, yeah, not to mention you guys, as much as like Lindenbaum, I'm glad the Bears didn't sign that contract. That's insane. You're talking about an interior offensive lineman in the NFL. There's no way he should get that much guaranteed. Listen, am I happy about the Bears' current center situation? Maybe not. No, it's not my favorite in the world, but I think it was the best available. And I wouldn't be surprised at all. Sean, we talked about in this draft, most of the centers are going to be drafted after the third round. You're talking about your top tier centers in this draft are going to be drafted after the third round. The Bears are going to have their shot at one. If they feel like they're not happy with the current situation, they can go draft a center in the third or fourth round and put him on the bench and let him develop. And if by week 6 or 7 they feel like things aren't going well, then that should be about the time that he should be developed enough and this NFL is slowed down enough for him to come in and play on this team. And real quick, back to Coby Bryant real quick, guys. You know, 2 years ago, he was playing corner. Then last year, they had him at free safety. This year, he's strong safety. So we still don't really know exactly where Dennis Allen plans on putting him. There's a lot of versatility there. He's played well at all 3 positions. Probably his strongest season, I'm going to say, was at strong safety. But if they feel like there's a safety in the draft, Brennan, like you said, that they absolutely are in love with, and he's a free safety, then I'm sure Bryant will end up playing strong safety. If it's vice versa, then Bryant will end up playing the opposite role. I like what Ryan Poles has done here. I like what Dennis Allen has done here. What they're doing, guys, is giving themselves options. We said this numerous times going into this offseason. They're going to have a broader range of view, right? They can't focus in on 2 or 3 guys because they're not a top 10 pick, and one of those guys isn't going to be there. Their pick, unfortunately, is 25. The Bears have put themselves in a position now where they can basically draft whatever they feel they need most.
Real quick, just to weigh in on the Bradbury thing, I do believe this Bears coaching staff, and I like it. It's a sense of narcissism almost, but in a confident way. I think they believe they can elevate players no matter what the age. And I think playing on that line that you watched in the Super Bowl, that really, I think, just played a really soft schedule. And when it came time to win a game like against a quality football team, they were in trouble and overwhelmed. This is a good line. Like you said, Sean, I didn't even know that about Tooney. Maybe Tooney had a word and convincing Foles to call over there. But I think that a guy who's going to come play between, Darnell Wright, Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, he's probably going to play better than he ever has anywhere else. I do want to say this, guys, real quick, because I can't really read it. It's going so fast. Thanks. We got over 70 in the building. Let's read some chats, guys, because these are coming in rapid fire, and I have almost
guys.
no access to them.
Well,
And Drew, that was another thing I wanted to say. Smitty, Luke Newman is a guy who will be listed as a backup center and guard if that's something they're concerned about when the season begins.
Yeah, real quick, guys. Sorry we can't give the chat is coming in so fast. We have 75 people in the building, one of the highest shows in a long time here. So please be patient with us. And real quick, there's a couple names I haven't seen here. Chad, maybe he's been here before. I don't recognize it. I apologize. He's been here before. Lower level, I've never seen him here before. Smitty Q, maybe it's just some of our regulars with different names. But thank you so much for joining the show, guys. We appreciate it. Please hit that like and subscribe button.
If you guys are new to the show, I think we owe you one of these. Maybe.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking up free agents as we're talking because it looks like Rashid Shaheed might have just signed. I'm looking for confirmation.
Thanks for joining the show, guys. Please hit that like.
It's not working.
Subscribe. Tune in. Check it out. Okay.
Yeah, I like Smitty Q's comment right here. He says Newman was going to be Drew replacement at center anyway. Let Rocher do his thing. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, guys. Like maybe we didn't get Lindenbaum, the best center in free agency, the best center available, but you know what? Brian Poles and this coaching staff have given themselves options. If they feel like that they're not happy with the current situation, they could go Newman. They could draft one in the 4th or 5th round. Same as safety, you guys. Now that they've got a guy here who's versatile, can play numerous positions. Now they can go basically whatever route they want in the draft. And like I said, with left tackle, I certainly wouldn't rule that out. At 25 more in the 2nd round, I think that's going to be a very similar situation as each pillow last year. I think the Bears are going to go get a guy who nobody else is really talking about it, and somebody they think they could bring here. And Ben Johnson and Dan Rocher can make left tackle out of them. There's just so many options now. You've pretty much shored up that linebacker position, so that's no longer considered a hole in the draft. Although you could, like Brandon said, you could certainly draft one and let him and groom him in the coming years, let him sit on the bench for a little while. But I just love. I know Ryan Poles has taken a lot of grief for what he's done in Chicago since he's gotten here, and yes, he's definitely made mistakes, no doubt about it. But with the way this free agency started, or this tampering period started, signing the defensive tackle from Indianapolis, who I think almost everybody in this chat or on this podcast has barely ever heard of, I was a little disappointed. But then to follow it up with Coby Bryant and the linebackers.
The more you read about Gallimore, the better I feel. I'll be honest.
Well,
I do want to point out, guys, too, that Joe Tooney is still an option at left tackle. If you think that Luke Newman and McFadden, I don't know if the Bears brought him back or if they will on some real cheap.
I think McFadden will be back, and I
have
think Elijah Hicks as well.
You still have the depth. You still have the depth that gives you the flexibility to move pieces around and whatever it takes for Rochar to identify the best 5 players on the field.
Yeah, real quick, Burton. You said you want to get some of the chat. I like Paul Martin's chat here. Comment here. He says Nate Frazier is kind of like a 2026 draft pick, 100%. That's almost like a bonus at this point since he had a year lost on his rookie contract already. Broski Bear says Bradbury is a 1-year stopgap. He's a vet that fits the Bears' outside run scheme. I agree with you 100%. Yep. If you look at the tape, Bradbury had his best tape when he was in that outside zone scheme. I think he's going to fit well in Chicago. Like I said, he's maybe no Drew Dalman, but he's certainly not like below average. Justin says Shaheed re-signed with Seattle. Sean, I don't know if that's what you were seeing on the screen there.
Shaheed did sign 3 years, 3-year extension, $34 million guaranteed, I believe.
Yep. Smitty said he's new here. Thanks for joining the show, Smitty. We appreciate it, man. We love talking Bears. The more, the merrier. Broski Bear is kind of combating that last comment, saying you can't really rely on Frazier for anything. In fact, he smells like a bust already. I don't know. I mean, if Dennis Allen liked him, I'd like to see what Dennis Allen can do with him before I just rule him out as a bust. And I don't. What is?
Yeah, that Braxton Jones deal, guys, is 1 year, $5 million with up to $5 million more in incentives. So it could be a 1 year, $10
Yeah,
million
which he's
deal.
probably not going to get. He's probably not going to play all 17 games. So I don't think he's going to get that.
What's
those
concerning
incentives.
about that is if that's
Phil,
your
I think
approach,
you're.
because
Phil, I think you meant Devin Bush. Not Devin White, yeah.
I wish Devin White was the guy I want to fill. But Dustin had texted just now, guys, that Braxton Jones is likely the starter on this football team, and I think that is their approach right now. What concerns me about that is it wasn't just the production that became a problem for Braxton Jones. He couldn't stay on the field.
Well, I don't think that, and I know they re-signed him. Here, I know they re-signed him. I don't know that he's a left tackle built with the quickness enough to run this scheme. And I think this could be a humongous mistake. And my guess is Taylor Decker is way out of the Bears' price range.
Well, guys, do you remember the severity of the injury?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't like
Braxton Jones didn't just sprain an ankle. That leg basically fucking blew off the bottom of his body. I mean, like, that was bad. So investing $5 million into a potential future starter that might not be able to play because he's had back surgery, neck surgery, and leg surgery now. I think the Bears are looking past the health concerns. I know that he's a guy who's been in the system and has played on this football team, but I would be very concerned about Braxton Jones' ability to finish his season.
And I would say this. I wouldn't be handing Braxton Jones the job on March 9th.
No, I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think Theo Benedict is going to get in there. Who knows if they draft a 7th round guy? You know, you can't say, oh, it didn't happen because Braxton Jones is a 5th round guy. You just don't know. So I know Dustin just said he's your starting left tackle. I would not say that on March 9th. I would wait a little while and see.
Yeah, and they're going to take the earn it.
Yeah, let's see how that plays out.
The staff's going to make these guys earn it.
How many people last year when they drafted Ozzy Pillow, a right tackle, to play left, said that there's no way this guy could play left tackle. This is a busted draft pick. Ryan Post screws up again, and then at the end of the season, everybody's gushing and goo gaga over him how well he's playing at left tackle. You don't know. Nobody knows exactly what the Bears' plan is. Now, Sean, I agree with you. People talk about Decker. People talk about Trent Williams. That was out of the Bears' price range. Guys, they just don't have that money. We talked about this on Wednesday last week. Not every single draft pick or not every single free agency addition is going to be a star who's paid the top guaranteed money. The Bears don't have money to do that. You're going to have some of these more under the radar players. I think Braxton Jones, if anything, guys, is a security blanket. People are like, oh, he's getting paid $5 million, max 10 with incentives. That's pretty much the going rate for an average starting tackle. I mean, it's not like the Bears got robbed by Braxton Jones. I don't think Braxton Jones is a solution at left tackle. I don't think the Bears believe that. I think he's a good backup and a good swing tackle, and the Bears plan on adding to this position at some point in the draft.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you started, and I think J2K said it best. This implies to me that they still have all the faith in the world in Ozzy Trapillo coming back from this injury and being their starting left tackle. I think Braxton Jones is a bridge guy that you would only start if you expected that the guy that you had invested your future in is going to return and play the way that you need him to and be able to stay healthy. So it says a lot. I think this is the Bears kind of giving Trapillo the vote of confidence.
And hopefully that is. I just don't like the statistics and the stats of him coming back from this injury and being able to play at a top
it's not good, Sean.
No, and I'll be honest. The only guy, there's good right tackles in this draft. The only left tackle I really like in this draft is Monroe Freeling, and he put himself way out of Bears' reach. I'm not a big fan of the kid from Alabama, Proctor. I know some people in the chat are. That's just my personal opinion. Is
the Hawaiian kid a left tackle?
I think he's a right tackle. The kid from Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a right. Fanu.
Yeah, Fanu.
Yeah, I think he's a right tackle.
I think he's like Samoan or something. I don't know. When I hear a name like that, I just assume
another name I've never seen before. Jeet
was here. Jeet was here on Thursday hanging out with us.
Thanks for coming back. Man, we appreciate it. He says need to see the incentives before you can judge the deal. I agree with you 100%. Jeet. Michael says proud for all you guys. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you, man. And Vizzo Joe says Poles fucked up by signing Braxton. Like I said, guys, I think this is more or less a security blanket. It might smell a little bit desperate. I think maybe the Bears thought they were running out of options, so they had to make a move quickly. I think Braxton Jones is probably your backup or swing tackle, and the Bears will address this position in the draft. believe personally, guys, that Ben Johnson wants to complete this offense before they even start worrying about the defensive side of the ball when it comes to the draft. Basically, I think they're happy with Bradbury. I think that your left tackle is going to be found in the draft, and then outside of wide receiver, maybe replacing DJ Moore, which I believe that they think that Luther Bird and Rome Odunze will step up, be your number 1 and number 2.
And Jade Walker.
Jade Walker is probably your number 3. Maybe you draft a security plan at receiver this year's draft. Outside of that, man, I mean, the Bears put themselves in a really good spot, and now they can work on rebuilding that secondary or that second safety position and the defensive line.
And again, I think the attacking approach, based on what I've seen, is going to be strong defensive line. I know everyone has an idea, left tackle, safety. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think any of us do. But based on what they
thanks, Slimbo. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Is to get, and Brandon, I think you'll agree with me here. They need to get some way to penetrate the middle of that line. And how are they going to do that? Starting with the 25th pick. That's just my opinion. I think it's a smart approach because we're sitting here. We've been sitting here for 3 years. We need a left tackle. We need a left tackle. We need a D tackle. We need a D tackle. Well, right now, you may have one fall right into your lap that you can build your franchise and your line around. I don't know. We'll see if Peter Woods is available. And yes, I'm saying that's Peter Woods. I believe in this kid a lot. I also believe in a kid a little bit later in the draft, Landon Robinson, who I think you can throw on this line and might be better than anybody on this line currently right now. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, thank you, Slimbo. Guys, I didn't see the chat. If you want to put that back up there, maybe we can read that for him. But, Sean, I agree with you 100%. I think you're in this division, you're playing a bunch of quarterbacks that play their best in the pie. He says at Combine, Ben J talked about Justin left tackle. Yeah, I don't see Ben Johnson letting that go by the wayside. It's important. It's a position that's obviously important to him. He was in Detroit when they had the league's best line. I agree with you, Sean. These guys we play in our division between Jordan Love, Jared Goff, and whoever the hell Minnesota's going to throw out there to suck. These guys are all pocket quarterbacks. They are. I mean, Jordan Love and Jared Goff are Jordan Love has some mobility, but he's best in pocket. And if you don't got penetration up the middle, these guys, and you're just letting these guys torch you, man. And it's unfair on the edge rushers. It's unfair on the secondary that these guys get to just step forward and feel comfortable, because that takes away from the ability to rush the pass. It takes away from the ability to cover the pass. And I also think, Sean, just as important as it is to get pass rush from the interior line, they need a guy that consumes 2 blocks. I've said this time and time again. They don't have a guy who can consume 2 blocks on this line. I don't know much about Gallimore. Maybe he's that guy. No. They need a nose tackle just as badly as they do a 3-tech.
Now, do you think this kid, Neville Gallimore, can give you the same production that Andrew Billings gave you? Because Andrew Billings' first year here, he was sensational. I mean, he was phenomenal his first year here.
Yeah, but he wasn't sensational last year. So, I mean,
he wasn't. No, but I'm saying you got a young kid because Neville Gallimore is pretty young. Neville, whatever his name is, Gallimore, he's pretty young. When you look at his tape, because Clay Harbor, God bless his soul, went out and put a whole bunch of tape out, and it looks like this guy gives unconscionable effort. Like he's got a high motor and he doesn't stop, and he's taking up bodies in the line. Maybe they see something we don't, and I'm gonna be eating my words because I didn't like it when they originally signed him. I mean, coming off a career year of 3 sacks, and I'm thinking of a guy that I want to get constant pressure to help the defensive ends collapse the pocket and all this other, and I'm like, oh, this is the guy. And but maybe with these coaches, this guy could be Billings.
Yeah, you got to look internally too, guys. I mean, I think it's fair to say we all expect Austin Booker to continue to get better the more his career goes on. I think you're probably going to get more out of Javon Dexter and Grady Jarrett now that they're not going to be on the field 24/7. And on top of that, you're going to get Shamar Turner back at some point. To me, he looked like a pretty damn good player before he got hurt, and he's only going to get better. You know, the NFL should slow down with him, obviously barring any injuries. I mean, I think the Bears have more talent on this defensive line than people think. I think it was just kind of some unfair circumstances with the Chicago Bears last year. I mean, I still think that Deo is capable of creating pressures at the bare minimum, but you guys have to imagine it's not just the fact that they lost 2 of their pass rushers in Shamar Turner and Deo. It's also the fact that the other guys are now asked to do more and are starting to get tired down in the third and fourth quarter. Yeah. Adding any depth at all should address that, should help that a little bit. And on top of that, my favorite thing about this entire offseason, guys, so far with Ryan, when it comes to Ryan Poles, is, and I don't want to speak too hastily because this isn't over yet, but we didn't lose any draft capital. That was my biggest concern. I thought for sure the Bears were, what's that?
We gained.
Yeah, I thought the Bears for sure were going to make make a move like a Max Crosby or Jalen Carter, and that's not what I want. I don't want to lose future first round picks for a guy you're going to have to sign here next year and 2 years, and a guy who, by all accounts, I mean, listen, I love Max Crosby. I think he's one of the best defensive ends in the NFL. But if you're talking about addressing the defensive end position, I think you're better off in the draft because you can have those guys on 4 or 5 year contracts, regardless, or depending on what round they're drafted in. And the Bears, once again, people keep forgetting about this, have to pay their quarterback $400 to $500 million in the next couple of years. You want as many of these premium positions, defensive end, left tackle, wide receiver on rookie contracts as you could possibly get. Look at Ryan Post started the free agency off doing. He dumped DJ Moore on the Buffalo Bills, and I love DJ Moore, but now the Bears have the third cheapest wide receiver room in the NFL. He didn't give up a ton of draft capital for a guy like Max Crosby or Jalen Carter. The Bears still have all their draft picks, excluding the one that they traded away in the middle of the season for Shayenka, and then obviously this pick that they swapped with the Buffalo Bills in the DJ Moore trade. But I think you're going to see this Ryan Poles and Dennis Allen build this defensive line through the draft, which is good, man, because those are becoming the premium positions of the NFL, and they're mighty expensive free agency. But have you guys seen some of the contracts that were signed today by some of these middle of the road defensive ends? It's insane.
Yeah,
insane.
Real quick, Dante.
These guys are getting $75 million guaranteed for 8.5 sacks.
I agree with you. I think Dennis Allen prioritizes versatility in these players, especially on the defensive line. But I think it's hard for me. I talked about a couple of Thursdays ago. I went over the stuff numbers for these players on this team, and it's well below the average of another unit on any other football team. And I believe that it's very hard to succeed at a 4-man rush when it's always 4 versus 5. It's hard for these guys to get after the quarterback when you don't have one guy that takes 2 on. The idea is to put your 3 tech and your 2 edge rushers one-on-one with whoever it is they might face. And I do believe that Booker and Sweat could, I said this to you today, Sean, I think they're capable of 20 sacks between the two of them. If Booker plays a full season, I do. I think these guys can, between the two of these guys, they can get double-digit sacks. But you can't really do that if you don't have the ability to just rush 4. And when you don't have one guy that takes on 2, that's that, right? Sean, that's the, I don't know what word to use. That's the guy who makes it even. That's the guy who puts these guys in a position to rush whoever it is across from them and only them. And the Bears just don't have a guy that can do that. And I'm not even talking about plugging gaps. I'm just talking about a guy who can take on 2 blocks, a guy who requires 2 interior linemen to block. And you see these lines like Denver where you don't see the biggest names. There's no Max Crosby's, there's no Myles Garrett's there, but they're one of the best teams in the league at getting after the quarterback because their tackles have the ability to do this. It is huge when it comes to getting after the quarterback with only 4. And I do believe, guys, that Dennis Allen's goal will be to rush the quarterback with 4 players. That's the end goal for every defense in the NFL. That's what makes it work. And, these guys, you got guys like Kyler Gordon, you had a guy like Brisker, you had a guy like CJ Gardner-Johnson who are good at getting after the quarterback when required, but it's not something you want to depend on. It's not a necessity. It's something that it's a luxury. You want a guy that Dustin's saying here, McDonald, you want a guy who takes the pressure, not off the guys behind him, off the guys that are standing next to him. And I just don't think the Bears have had that for quite some time. I want a guy who can consume 2 blocks and still fill a gap. That's what a good nose tackle does. That's why these guys are impressive and they play at the weight they do, because it takes a lot of man to cover them.
And so we're clear, when you look at the bio of Neville Gallimore, Neville, whatever his name is, Gallimore, he is, Dustin, listed as a true nose tackle, 1 technique, who has played some 3 tech in the NFL. I'm just reading his bio. I didn't know what position he played either. I just read it out. They're saying he is a true nose. So if that's what we got, that's what we got. We still lack a 3 technique. That's why Peter Woods becomes so important.
I think he's a nose tackle, but his pass rush numbers are listed higher than his.
Sure.
Right? I think his pass rush grade is better than
Yeah,
his
it says Gallimore has the versatility of a defensive tackle who's predominantly an NFL career played the 1 technique nose tackle throughout his career, though he has the versatility to play 3 tech in penetrating systems. So His
Yeah, and most
primary
if you,
role has
if,
been
It's another very versatile guy for Dennis.
if you look around the league, guys, most of the best defensive lines in the NFL were built through the draft because it's just too expensive to sign defensive ends nowadays. And I think that's what the Bears are gearing towards. Listen, they got the guys here they think are necessary for Dennis Allen's scheme to play defensive end. They got three techniques when you talk about Javon Dexter, Grady Jarrett, maybe Shamar Turner. We don't know ultimately where he's going to end up. But now it's time for the Bears to go get that nose tackle. And I think the Bears made the moves they made in free agency and I think they did that thinking that this draft was really, really strong when it comes to the one tech. How many guys in this draft did we talk about, Sean? We were breaking down the defensive linemen who are one techs who are going to be absolute monsters in the NFL, who are going to be drafted in the top 50 picks, and the Bears are going to have their shot at one of them. And I think that was their plan all along. And, you're talking about Dennis Allen, Ben Johnson, and Ryan Poles now. This is a front office and a coaching staff that's getting smarter. I mean, we were so used to guys like Matt Nagy, Matt Eberflus. I think that they've had this plan in place the entire time. I think they know exactly what they're doing. I think they know exactly who they want in the draft, and they will complete this defense, or at least get as close to completing this defense as they possibly can in 2026.
The Texans defense just got a little better as they added a 3-year, $24 million deal for safety Reed Blankenship. He's headed to the AFC from the NFC.
Texas just got a little worse.
Oh, no.
Texas might have just got a little worse.
I do not like Reed Blankenship, Sean. You know that. He was ranked number 91 out of 98 safeties on PFF. I know people are like, yeah, PFF. But you guys, listen, maybe they're not perfect. Maybe it's not a perfect science at PFF, but you can't tell me that 91 out of 98 is good. There's no way. Blankenship is terrible. And Justin says here, Blankenship sucks. I think he's one of the worst safeties in the NFL. I think if anything, Blankenship should be a backup, and maybe that's the role he's going to play in Houston. But
God, I need to
not a good signing for the Houston. I don't know. If you go watch that Eagles team, I think he was their Achilles heel. I think it was the handicap. If you watch that Eagles defense, outside of Blankenship, they were absolute studs at every single position on the field. He was probably the Sean, you always talk about, you're only as strong as the chain's only as strong as the weakest link. Well, I think if it wasn't for Blankenship, the Eagles could have been in the conversation for one of the best
80 in the building,
all time,
guys.
man.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining
guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Do us a favor, guys. Tell us what you want to talk about, but please, please, please hit that like. Likes are always not very reflective of the amount of views we have after a show, guys. If you could hit that like for us, if you like what you're watching. Yeah, I can't stress it enough. Whoever, I missed it. Somebody just put McDonald in there, and then Kyle. So it's a very strong nose tackle class. I don't know.
Loves Peter Woods.
If you go draft yourself a
handful of other
stud 3-tech, right? Just an animal of a 3-tech. I don't know how less effective he might be if there's just not a guy who can consume 2 blocks. Because let's say you get the best 3-tech in the draft, but that guy's got to face two offensive line, 2 interior linemen every time the ball is hiked. You need the guy who can take the pressure off the guys who are supposed to get after the quarterback, and the Bears just don't have it.
And if they can at this level, will be one story or another. But when you look at Caden McDonald and you look at Peter Wood's tapes, those guys are taking on double teams. They are shedding people and still getting to the quarterback.
Yes.
So maybe that's the guy you need, and he frees up a Javon Dexter.
Yeah, maybe Dexter improves drastically if you get a guy who can.
Sean's
how often, guys?
Sean's not going to jump. Sean's going to die on this Peter Woods hill, man. I can see what he's thinking about while he's talking.
How often did we watch Dexter get blocked by 2 players? That's not what he's supposed to be doing. It's hard to be a 3 technique that needs to beat 2 blocks. It's not a common thing in the NFL. So you've got to add that guy that can change the dynamic of 4 versus 5, right? Because you really want your 4 best pass rushers to be playing the 4 guys across from them. You don't want Javon Dexter to be plugged up. You don't want Montez Sweat to be double teamed. You don't want Booker to be, and that's the ability the opposing offensive line has when there's just no body there. And I say body, not buddy, no body there to eat it up, man. And it's killing them. It's if from what you guys, if you guys are watching the same team I'm watching, it's literally killing this football team.
And that's
kind of need to address it.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, hey, ball out. I'll make you any bet that this guy's a top 5 interior lineman over the next 5 years in the NFL. His short arms, this guy's a menace. He's a terror. He's going to haunt NFL coordinators for years to come in this league. I just played the tape. Every one of those films was him shedding off 2 blockers and making a tackle. This guy is an absolute animal, a beast, a menace. He will plug right into this line and change this Bears defensive line, I promise. If the Bears have the opportunity to get him.
Yeah, just the guys, you can clearly see move at a different pace and speed than somebody who weighs as much as they do. You know, the
Sure.
average player at 300 plus pounds doesn't move laterally like these two guys do between Woods and McDonald.
And the Steelers just signed Rico Dowdle.
Sean, he says he agrees with you. He's just saying Dennis Allen might not like him. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I got you.
and then the next chat here, guys. Let's see who is it. Chaser Joe asks, "Who's the other safety next to Bryant, Byard or Brisker?" I honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think it's going to be neither of them.
I think it's going to be your. I personally, I think Vizzo, it's going to be your 25th pick.
I think yeah,
that's who's going to be starting at safety.
I'll say 57th pick.
Yeah, my guess is
first or second round, right?
Hold
It's got to
on,
be. If he's your starter, it's got to be.
God. My guess is Vizzo that they like this safety class a lot in the 2026 draft, and that's probably where they plan on assessing that hole in the roster. Do It All says Neville ran a 4.7940 coming out, and his quickness shows up in film. He is high motor. Bears have said they want more speed on defense. Free agents are fast.
Hey, they really did. They improved their team speed today, and they improved their team.
I did not know that was his 40.
It's underwhelming. It was underwhelming at first, and I think putting that out and saying underwhelming because you just lost Drew Dalman, a top 5 center, and then you look at Bradbury and you're like, Vrabel's giving him up, and the last guy Vrabel gave up to us, we all remember how that worked out, don't we? So it kind of just, I think it was the shock and awe, but then being able to take a step back, watch some of this film, and actually break him down. It's like I said, not like, oh my God, but not, oh my God.
Well, I mean, Sean, you got to ask yourself this, Sean, and I'm sincerely asking you. What
over 90 in the building, guys? We love
Sean. If it wasn't him, who was it? Who was it?
If it wasn't him, I don't know who
was
it would
it.
be.
I mean, everybody's so unhappy.
Maybe you're looking at Luke Newman as the guy who could.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, the options were taken out of the Bears' hands. They didn't force Drew Dalman to retire. If the Bears had it their way, Drew Dalman would be their center going into next season. They went in free agency.
Can I say this really quick, Kyle? Don't get fooled by the 0 sacks by the center. There was, I think, 24 centers in the league that didn't allow a sack. That is a skewed sack or stat when it comes to centers, guys. He gave up 0 sacks. So did 24 other centers in the league. There's 32 teams. So let's not get crazy.
And again, now you're thinking again. So, and the center's job is primarily to snap the ball and then help whoever it is that's blocking the nose tackle. The center is supposed to be the guy who's helping the guy who's blocking the monster, right? And Bradbury, I'm sure, will do just a fine job considering the two guards.
Center got to do a lot more than that. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. But I mean, they also have to pick up stunts. They have to identify the defense.
Well, yeah, the pre-snap stuff. I'm talking about after the ball is hiked. But that makes my point. That makes my point, guys. Is like when the Bears lined up on defense and Chris Williams was out there and Billings was out there and Grady Jarrett was out there at the 1 tech. Who do you think the interior offensive lineman, the center most specifically, was focused on when the ball was snapped? It was Dexter. You're not fucking worried about that guy. You're telling your guard on the right side, hey, take care of Chris Williams. We're going to take care of this guy over here. So the 3 tech became almost irrelevant to this Bears defense. It really did. Because
Burnham's not going to get off this defense.
No, I'm not. I really do. I told you guys I shifted on this a couple weeks ago. I called the 3 tech the anchor, but I really don't know how good the 3 tech can be if the guy next to him sucks.
Well, you guys, just to move on to some of these.
Yeah, but really quick, I don't know that Dexter sucks. We were talking in the text earlier.
No, Dexter's the 3 tech, Sean. I'm talking about the guy next to him.
Oh,
I don't know how good. I don't know how good Dexter can be if he's got to worry about 2 blocks every time the ball is snapped.
And this is where I go back to this Gallimore, because when we acquired and signed Billings, he was 28. This kid's 29. Maybe you get a couple years, and it does look like he was maybe coming up a little bit. I'm not trying to boast this kid up. I don't know enough about him. I'm just trying to be hopeful here. But again, I think this is leading me personally to believe they're going D-line in this draft heavy, because now you have some rotational pieces to affect the game. You get a Peter Woods, you have this Gallimore, you have Dexter, you have I don't know, Chris Williams if they re-sign him, just some pieces in the middle that they can rotate. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, to move on to some of the additions the Bears have made in the last few weeks or last week here, guys. I mean, we could talk about Bradbury all day. People are like, "Oh, I like Dalman better." The fact of the matter, guys, is there's no options. There was no options. Guys.
Yeah, there was.
No option. You're not going to pay for Lindenbaum. We knew the Bears were not involved in that conversation, right? They probably called his camp. His camp was like, "Hey, we're looking for $100 million." The Bears were like, "All right, we're out. That's done." You didn't even get a chance to talk to Byard. He signed in LA before he even got but he never came to Chicago. He never visited with the Chicago Bears. Sean liked McGovern a lot out of Buffalo. He resigned with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but the options started dwindling pretty quickly here. And I think Ryan Poles and his coaching staff identified that and were like, and Lloyd Cushenberry's dealt with nothing but injuries since the trade, since he left. Was it Tennessee he went to? From Tennessee to Denver, right?
Denver, yeah.
Since he got, they were quick to let him go. The Denver certainly wasn't rushing to re-sign him. I mean, this to me, if you look at the options, the Bears once again, we didn't even know Bradbury was an option. Ryan Post picks up the phone, starts calling people, and he finds what thinks is probably his best option as stopgap center. And now you can go draft one in the third.
He called Joe Tooney.
Here's the thing I don't understand about Bears fans is they're so quick to jump all over the front office or jump over Ryan Poles. Guys, if somebody in the chat, please give me a better option than Bradbury, because Lindenbaum was not an option. Byard was not an option. He got signed before he came to Chicago.
And Kyle,
McGovern was extended. There was no options. This was your best option.
With you. I think, as you just stated, I think that Poles got the feel for that. I think we're not in these inside circles. I think Poles already knew McGovern was staying in Buffalo.
I agree. Absolutely. During the DJ Moore deal, he probably asked.
Yeah. I personally believe Byard, good player. I think they overpaid for him. And Linderbaum for $27 million, I would have fucking went ballistic on the show if we paid a fucking center $27 million.
Interior offensive line.
I would have lost my mind.
You guys, what's happening? $27 million used to be a good pay for a starting left tackle. Now the centers are getting $25 million. What's going on here? Like, if Ryan Poles and this coaching staff were like, listen, we like Lindenbaum, we could probably allocate all of our free agent funds to him and get him here, but he's not worth the money. I agree with them 100%. Like, I trust this coaching staff more than anything in the world. If Ben Johnson was like, I like Lindenbaum a lot, he would probably be my choice, but I'm not paying him $27 million a year. Ryan Poles, I'm sure, was like, I'm with you. Let's go find it. He picked up the phone and he found a guy in Bradbury who believes he's going to be better in a run zone scheme. I think Bradbury's probably going to have a career year on the Chicago Bears because of this coaching staff, because of the scheme they run. And like Brennan said earlier, he's now playing between Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney. Joe Tooney might be the best guard in all of football. Listen, is it ideal? Is that like, if you're like going into this offseason, if you guys were like, hey, who do you want more, Bradbury or Drew Dalman? I'm taking Dalman, but that option was taken out of the Chicago Bears hands. There's nothing you can do about a guy retiring. Absolutely nothing you can do. And it's the same conversation with left tackle, guys. I still think the Bears are going to address left tackle in this draft coming up. Brennan, you said it earlier. There's no. Brennan, you said it earlier.
Tackle and a retirement from their center.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People are like, "Oh, we lost 40% of our offensive line." Like the Bears just decided to cut ties with them. Yeah, football's a tough sport. It's a harsh sport. It's a harsh reality. You lost a guy you drafted at right tackle. You got absolutely destroyed for drafting him. He looked like a pretty damn good left tackle to me. He's out for basically all next season with a ruptured patellar. Then your center retires. The Bears are scrambling to make moves to fill these holes. I think they're doing the best they think they could do. I think Braxton Jones is a security blanket. They're going to draft a left tackle in this draft. I think they got the best available center. And when I say that, I mean, in terms of Lindenbaum, to me, you guys, was not available to us.
For their scheme.
Yes, for their situation, right? Yeah, we're over their situation. I think they got the best guy they could possibly find. They picked up the phone and made that call. Bradbury wasn't, by all counts, was not just available. The
Bears requesting a trade.
The Bears went hunting for a center. They found the best one they thought was available. I guarantee you, Ben Johnson assured Ryan Poles, hey, if you get him here, I'll make sure he fits in the scheme and he'll have one of his best years in the NFL. They're victim of circumstance. This is the NFL. It's a tough sport. You never know what's going to happen. You curveballs thrown at you all the time. And I think the Bears have responded well. I like what he's done at the beginning of free agency. We haven't lost any draft capital. We still have our first round pick for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Unlike the Green Bay Packers, we've seen teams. How many teams, Sean, have we seen? Look, guys, let's go over the defensive ends that people that.
Well, real quick, guys. We got over 100 in the building. We have over 100 chats on the show so far, guys. Please, we love you very much. Thanks for obviously joining the conversation.
Thank you, guys.
Show
really
important.
Please hit that like. Thank you,
Please
guys.
hit that
And
like,
Noah
guys.
King here says Poles is going to go after Trey Hendrickson. I don't think he is, guys. Let's look at the teams that have
I don't
the
No,
think
they're
he
highest.
not
is.
trade. He's
Let's look
not
at
trading any more draft picks.
let's look at the teams
That's.
that have the highest paid defensive ends in all the NFL. Right? Let's look at them real quick. Micah Parsons.
Oh no,
What was the
never mind.
pack?
I'm stupid. He's a free
Micah
agent.
Parsons. How far did the Packers go into the playoffs? Micah Parsons and the Cowboys the year before that. How far did the Cowboys go to the playoffs? How far have the Myles Garrett Cleveland Browns gone in the playoffs? You guys face it. I love these defensive ends. I wish the Bears had one of them, but it's not an end all be all fix it all. That's just not the case. People think they're going to sign one of these defensive ends for $185 million in free agency. All of a sudden they're winning a Super Bowl. It's never happened. It's maybe outside of Reggie White. It's never happened. It's never happened. I'm all for getting younger at the position and paying less money and drafting them.
I'm here with Michael William in the chat, man. You know, it's he wants to challenge the front office and coaches to find a way to win through the draft. The same way the players are challenged to find a way to win the match. I agree. It's time for the Bears because honestly, we're in the situation because of bad drafting in the past, and that's inexperience on Ryan Poles' part. That's fine. He seems to be learning because this for me was huge, and now we're going to learn a little bit more about Poles. He's going to have to make moves by restructuring contracts. He's growing in his role. I really like the structure he did with Coby Bryant today. That's a new step in a new direction, not only for Ryan Poles, but the Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
because the Bears don't do this shit.
It's not just necessarily the contract that was amazing. The way he structured it was absolutely
exactly.
phenomenal. He's starting to get and you know, he's always been pretty good financially outside of missing on free agents. He's always been good at structuring contracts, but he's getting better.
And Sean, I think he lacked. I don't. In regards to Ryan Poles' early tenure as an NFL GM, I don't think that he had direction or vision provided to him. Listen, guys. A good coaching staff doesn't just affect the team on the field. It affects the drafting process. It affects the development. These coaches clearly proved with last year's draft, not only are they going to identify the studs, they're going to make them the best players they can be. Now, it didn't go well on the defensive side of football because you lost Turner to an injury and Zay Frazier. I don't know. I don't even know. I got nothing. But
Shamar Turner, Zay Frazier, Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Terrell Smith. I mean, Brendan, they lost their entire defense. I mean,
what I'm saying is that's why the Bears are focusing on the players they drafted. I'm not out on
Shamar Turner.
I'm not out on this coaching staff on the drafting defensive players, identifying good talent on the defensive side of football because of how last year's draft went. They clearly focused on offense, but I think when you have a coaching staff that can provide the general manager exactly what it is they want. Not, I need this position, get the best guy at it. No, I want this fucking guy. That's who I want. That's who I want on this football team because that's who fits what I'm doing here. What's going on, Shorty? I think that a coaching staff like this one has a major impact on how successful you become in drafts year in and year out. Ryan Poles' drafts are going to look better and better. I promise you guys that. For all of those who are watching. This coaching staff is going to tell him exactly what they need by name.
And that's
not by position, by name.
That's not
we learned that last year. Did we not?
Yeah, well then that's not out of the norm.
Yeah.
Like you guys,
when they took Loveland over Warren, you started to see that it's a fit thing. It's not who's the best guy on the board, Ryan.
The best teams in the NFL have
good point, Brandon.
The best teams in the NFL, the coach and GM marriage are the strongest of all the best teams in the NFL. I mean, go look at it. Go look around the league. The best teams in the NFL where the GM and coach work hand in hand to build the best roster they possibly can that fits the needs of that coach's scheme and that coach's roster.
Trust in Ben.
I trust Ben Johnson. I trust Dennis Allen. A lot of people on Twitter and on Facebook today are really upset about the Bears' moves in free agency. They're saying they didn't do enough.
They don't like the guys. Are mad about Devin Bush. Jesus Christ!
Michael says this show rocks out. Thanks, Mike.
Unbelievable.
Because of you guys.
How anybody could watch the tape of Devin Bush last year on the Cleveland Browns and be upset with that addition. I mean, he was one of the best linebackers in football, guys. He was ranked top 5 by PFF. He was ranked top 5 by StatCast. He's fast as shit. He had speed to the Bears. He's exactly what Dennis Allen needs. I think the reason people don't like him is because he's 5'11".
Let's be fair. His first few years, he didn't live up to the top 10 billing.
It's a learning curve.
His last 2 years, he's more than lived up to that billing. And Ryan Poles is traded for a guy going into his prime, and you're about to get the best years out of him on a deal.
Sean,
anything.
Sean, you know what I like? I like when
he's going to have a better year than Tremaine Edmonds. Anyone want to bet on that?
I was just going to say, Sean, I don't know how you feel about Devin Bush, but if you feel like he's not going to do better in Dennis Allen's scheme than Tremaine Edmonds, I don't know what you're watching, man. I don't know
Oh,
what
so you're
takes it.
complaining about the fact. So people are complaining about the fact that the Bears signed somebody on an upward trajectory instead of signing somebody who has
Right.
linear growth. I mean, you guys, Deo's stats last year were worse than 2 years ago, and the Bears signed him, and people liked the move. Now you get Devin Bush, a guy who's only progressively gotten better every single year in the NFL, and seems to be figuring this thing out, and looked absolutely phenomenal last year. Ranked the top 5 linebacker in the NFL by almost every stat
He was ranked
website
fourth.
in the NFL, and people are complaining about it. I don't understand it.
He
What
was
do you
ranked
want?
fourth, Kyle. Edmonds was ranked 34th. So I mean, if the
Yeah, and do you-
the proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, it's very clear that not only is he a younger player, but Devin Bush is just like you said, Kyle, a progressively better player year in and year out. Where I don't know that you were going to see. And listen, Kyle, you made a good point in last week's show. Edmonds is not a bad football player.
he doesn't fit the scheme.
He's not a Dennis Allen football player, and Dennis Allen made it very clear at the combine. There's an Eberflus smell here that they're trying to get
Take
rid
it
of.
out.
Right? There's
Yeah.
an odor here that exists that they're fucking lysoling out of this place right now. So that's what this is. You're seeing an overhaul at all these positions, linebackers especially, but it's based on what this team needs to run Dennis Allen's defense. The same as Ben Johnson, guys. It's about who these guys think they need to run the scheme it is that they want to. Because 100 guys, 100 of us would have said draft Tyler Warren over Colson Loveland, and Ben Johnson said no. That's not what works here. That's not what works for me. And we saw how Colston thrived in this offense. You have to believe that Dennis Allen telling, Ryan Poles obviously had a lot to do with it because of the money, but I'm sure Dennis Allen said, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Edmonds can walk. I'm good. Because there's a guy out there that I want more that fits what I'm gonna do. And whether or not you like Devin Bush, whether or not you compare him to Devin White or Leo Chenault or all these other guys, and I said to you guys, the Bears are going to. I said on Thursday show, the Bears are going to sign a linebacker when free agency starts. They did it in the Tampa.
Somebody in the chat here.
They
asked
wanted speed
on,
at this position.
Let's get to these chats real quick. Somebody in the chat here asked if Devin Bush was a Mike or Will. He is more known as a Will linebacker, guys. And which would make sense, right? Because TJ Edwards is probably going to continue to be the Mike here. And I know a lot of people aren't sold that TJ Edwards is healthy, but you just signed him. So, I mean, there's really nothing you can do at this point.
DeMarco Jackson is a Mike linebacker if you want him to be as well. So,
but Devin Bush is weak side linebacker. So regardless of who's playing next to him, that was the signing the Bears needed to make to replace Tremaine Edmonds. And like you said, Vernon, this is a scheme built off speed. I like Tremaine Edmonds a lot, but let's face it, he's not one of the fastest guys in the NFL. And Devin Bush is, by all accounts, he's known for of all of his strengths.
4 stars together.
Okay, guys, I'm here now. We can start the show. Let's go.
Here's the chat from True Pilgrim. He says Devin Bush is a 4.43 guy. We asked for more speed on D, and we got it. And then Bear Down.
It's very clear that these guys.
Bear Down 3761 says we got younger and faster today. We could have done worse. 100%.
It's very clear that these guys. They're not just going out and signing the best guy available. The Bears are having an approach that we haven't seen maybe in our fucking lifetime, which is we're going to get a player who's very specific to what we're doing here. We're not going to go get the name that everybody wants. We're not going to go get the best rated player available. We're going to get the best guy for us. And that's the Bears' approach to this linebacker position. You saw that today with the re-signing of DeMarco Jackson and the signing of Devin Bush. It's very clear, right? It's punching you in the face that there's a mold that Dennis Allen expected at this position in order to run the defense he wants, and they're doing that. Ryan Poles is asking these guys, what do you need? What do you want? And I'm going to go get it. And that's what's happening. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I said it at the opening, and I'll say it again because I'm going to check out of here, boys. They emphasize speed, physicality, and coverage. 3 things the Bears were lacking last year on the defensive side. They got off to a good start. They re-signed Case Keenum. I don't know what that means for the future of Tyson Bagent. Maybe I'll chop that up. Maybe he'll be here. Maybe he won't. But I'll tell you, I wasn't impressed when Gallimore signed originally. But at the end of the day, I'm very happy with what they did. The savings and the money. 2 linebackers at 13.75 opposed to 1 at 15. That underwhelms for you. Great job again on the books.
Oh, Sean, it would have been 17. It would have been 17.
It would have been 17. But let's hope it continues.
And a starting safety, sure.
We'll go from there. He also saved in the starting safety because I think Byard's actually going to command more.
Yeah, I do too.
Boys, I gotta jump out of here. I gotta hobble my ass back upstairs.
Go take some
Sure.
drugs, Sean.
We hope
This
you feel better,
fun.
man.
Love y'all.
Feel
You
better.
up,
Bear
Sean.
down.
You
We'll
up.
get
Thanks for
back.
joining us. Thanks for hosting again, brother.
We'll see you guys soon. Bear down, motherfuckers.
Dustin,
What's up, Dustin?
how do you
What
feel
up,
about
guys?
today's acquisitions?
Today I acquired a new truck, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Okay, let's talk about the truck. What'd you
No,
spend?
too much like usual. But it's awesome. My baby is crying outside the door too. She wants some papa right now. Dude, it's been crazy. I've been trying to follow it. Like I said, I've been at the fucking dealership all day, and then now my daughter is sick again. And she started vomiting right when the show was about to start, and then her prescriptions got ready. So I
Most
apologize
people
for being
do
late.
that when our show's about to start.
Yeah, I felt like doing the same thing when I saw your face.
I don't blame you. It's
No,
practicing
yeah,
this guy up.
I got a new Dodge Ram. I updated my Dodge, and it's pretty fucking nice.
What are we looking at? What kind of RAM?
It's not. It's like a 15. It's got like 94,000 miles on it, but it's fucking sweet. man.
1500 is all right. So of these guys they've signed today, Dustin, between Devin
Paul?
Bush, Coby Bryant, well, the whole lot of Gallimore. Who do you think's obviously who are you most excited about? Who makes the biggest impact on this team in 2026?
Braxton Jones.
Yes, very much. Yes.
Braxton Jones. Listen, in all honesty, man, I really do believe that that's a signing that signifies that they are comfortable starting Braxton Jones in this upcoming season, and that's
Right,
a little
that they're
scary.
trying to get to Trapillo's
That-
health.
Yeah, for sure, and that's kind of scary, But like, I don't know what we expected that they would be able to do in terms of Devin Bush. He's a much better linebacker in coverage than Tremaine Edmonds, and he's much better against the run. It's a complete upgrade, as you guys talked about earlier. They got a lot faster. You could talk about his speed at the combine. That was in 2019 for Devin Bush. He ain't got that same speed, but he's still got speed that he can bring to this defense. He's going to be a good leader for this defense. He's coming off a damn good year in Cleveland. I like him. I thought it was a good signing. I would have preferred Leo Chenal over Devin Bush, though, personally. Like, that was more the guy I was identifying, a guy that's going to take another leap in terms of his abilities and traits.
Very young.
But
Very young.
yes, and hadn't got a lot of the snaps, So
He hasn't been given a full-time job yet.
Yeah, so I thought that would be intriguing personally, but I like Devin Bush. I do. And Neville Gallimore it's a solid signing. It just feels kind of blah, though. Like, this team has enough rotational defensive tackles. They need impact defensive tackles. So you're hoping that they're looking at that in the draft, but there's only so many draft picks you have too. I mean, the safety signing, that's nice. But at the same time, I'm concerned about who's gonna. You still need 3 other safeties.
I think I said earlier in the show, Dustin, tell me what you think of this. I believe that this is a very glaring. It's a light. To me, this points in all directions towards the Bears drafting a safety with their first overall, the first round pick. And I think even if you don't in the first, you clearly are intending on getting your other starting safety in this draft. So it can't. We're not talking about a 4th round pick here, guys, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can't box yourself in with this first pick.
No, it's going to be the best player available. But like Sean said, that means safety falls to the second. But if you intend on getting a starter at this position, it's got to be somebody who's near the top. I mean, you're not hoping to get a starter at the safety position in the 4th, 5th round. I think that it's a day 1, day 2 pick, right, Kyle?
You're gonna have to get a safety in this draft. But like, is the Byard thing just done? How Coby Bryant? It's a damn good signing, I think. Coby Bryant from Seattle. I mean, and you're getting a guy from a team that just won a Super Bowl. So this guy obviously has experience, knows how to win, and he's versatile in that role. So he can do either one. But I still feel like Poles wants Byard back. You guys feel like that's just done?
He allowed him to test the market. That's what it was reported today. That surprised me. It took me a little bit off guard. But Kyle, what do you think?
No, I don't think it's out of the question. I think the Bears are going to kind of address this free agency class, and then they're going to kind of figure out what they have to do to restructure somebody, or maybe move parts around, maybe even cut some of the dead weight. I know if they cut Roschon Johnson right now, they see another $2 million. I think they're just kind of sitting back and trying to figure everything out. Like I said earlier, if you look at the draft, you look at the safety class, there's strong safeties at both the free safety and strong safety. And the Bears
It's a
got
very
guy,
deep safety class and
yeah,
very
yeah, and
talented.
they got a guy in Coby Bryant who's very versatile, and he can basically do anything. So I think for me right now, Dustin, personally, I wouldn't be blown away if they re-sign Kevin Byard. It wouldn't blow my mind, but I think at this point they're probably planning on drafting the best safety available and then putting Coby Bryant the opposite of where they think the other player will play
He's
best.
gonna play at his best. Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like you would be better off if you had Kevin Byard at that free safety spot. You put Coby Bryant. It's really hard to say Coby Bryant's name, knowing given that his name is fucking Coby Bryant. Like it's hard. I keep wondering if am I saying it right?
Dude, I've already
Like,
seen on Instagram like, oh, we got the Black Mamba and all this. I'm
yeah,
like, all right,
it's strange. But like I would feel better if they drafted a safety that was in a rotational role behind two good starting veteran safeties on this defense.
You think he'll change his number from 8 to 24?
I mean, Justin, you're talking about like somebody they can develop, take their time.
Somebody. I mean, if you're drafting a safety in the 3rd round, say like that's a guy that can get into a rotation, learn behind a guy like Kevin Byard and Coby Bryant, and just get better. You can get Kevin Byard back on a 1-year deal. He's up there in age. Like I don't think he's going to break the bank. But then when you look at Minkah Fitzpatrick, signed a 3-year, $40 million deal. Like that's a lot of years to invest in an older safety. Poles has shown that he doesn't want to invest those kind of years with Kevin Byard already with the deal that he gave him in the first place. So I don't know if he wants to give him a 3-year deal, and can Byard find that on the open market? I think that's what that comes down to, because I think it's pretty clear the Bears want him back. He was a key part of their defense.
Well, it would certainly give you more freedom at pick 25 if you did
Mama
resign Kevin
mentality.
Byard. Then you could truly do basically whatever you wanted at
Rest
that
in
pick. I
peace.
mean, the Bears are going to have to draft best available player, but it's most likely going to be a position of need. They're going to draft defensive tackle, safety, left tackle. It's going to be one of those positions, linebacker maybe. But yeah, I mean, I love Kevin Byard. I love what he did in Chicago. I think, everybody always expects him to have this drop off the older he gets, but you guys, he continues to take the ball away. That's just who he is. He's a ball hawk.
He's been an all-pro player twice in his career.
If the Bears could get him back here on a cheaper contract, if he tests free agency and decides that he'd rather play in Chicago than take another 500,000, 750,000 million somewhere else, he wants to play for a team he believes can win a Super Bowl, the Chicago Bears, I would love to have Byard back here. I think the Bears probably thought they owed it to Kevin Byard to go test free agency. He's going to come back I'm assuming his camp's going to come back to Ryan Poles and say, this is what teams have offered us. This is what we're talking. This is what we're asking for. And I'm sure Ryan Poles will make an offer, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if he gets offered more somewhere else.
I'm looking at the total cap space left here, guys. Is this right? 13,394,000.
Yep.
Guys, can
not a
I
lot.
sway this conversation? Can I sway this conversation?
No, but they haven't restructured anybody yet.
Real quick, Brandon, but because that's what I wanted to get to myself. The thing that is concerning to me right now, and then going into this free agency, this tampering period, like that, where you can negotiate, why the Bears had not restructured anyone up until this point. Why are they not aggressively trying to make cap room so they can make the best signings possible? Joe Tooney, Jalen Johnson. These are guys that you could restructure and free up some space. I know it's a negative too, because you're pushing that money down the line. It can lead to more dead cap. But right now, I think it's off season where you need to really improve your roster to stay competitive and stay in that playoff hunt and the NFC North hunt as well.
Especially when it feels like the Packers are kind of blowing it up. But
so I mean, like, are you guys surprised that none of that has happened yet? That they're not moving money around?
The non-restructure of Cole Kmet and Joe Tooney are a pretty big surprise to me, because those are guys you want to stick around. So it's okay to push money down the line because you want these guys.
Guys, if you know they're going to be on your team, it makes sense.
You do have to the beginning of the new year, which I believe is March 13th in the NFL, to restructure. So it's not out of the realm.
But the free agency is all the heart of the free agency is happening right now today.
Yeah, and you can be
see everything coming across.
Remember, you could be but you could be over the cap before the start of the new year. So they could still sign a Kevin Byard right now, be over the cap, and then restructure tomorrow. So they can still sign everybody they believe they need in free agency, and then adjust accordingly when it comes to restructuring contracts. I still don't think it's out of the question that somebody here is getting restructured.
J2K is saying, don't go back to J2K real quick. Poles has never restructured a contract.
Yeah, I'm not saying you will. I'm just saying
it's not. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, is it going to happen at all? I don't know that it. I don't know that it is.
It's going to be up to this coaching staff, probably. You guys, David Watkins, have you guys seen that name before?
No,
I have not.
What's going on, David? Raiders are going in. Yeah, the Raiders had the day. The Raiders won the day today, David. The Raiders won the day.
I told y'all about the Raiders.
They've made some really quality signs. Their defense is tremendously improved. I think the Linderbaum contract, I'm with Sean and Kyle. The Linderbaum contract was a little outrageous, but I do want to the Bears made a
What's up,
signing
David?
today. The Bears signed a player today that's less than sexy. Not a guy that we've talked about today. Not a guy that I'm going to put on the thumbnail. But they resigned a special teams piece, and I think this is
This was
vital.
yesterday. That happened
I'm sorry.
yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, we were texting about it. Yeah.
The Bears decided to bring back Daniel Hardy, who is also a defensive end who gets some snaps on the offensive side of the football. But it is important that Richard Hightower, or whoever it is that's going to be there, is it Richard Hightower? I think he still is
Yeah,
their special teams coach. It is important that they don't abandon the third phase of this football team where I thought the Bears were improving. They haven't re-signed Devin Duvernay. So let me ask you, I'll start with you, Kyle. As much as the chat probably doesn't want to hear about it, is how important is this re-signing of Daniel Hardy to the special teams unit?
I don't know if Daniel Hardy is necessarily a special teams re-signing. I think the
He
Bears
100% is, Kyle.
I think he might see him play a little bit more defensive end this year than he did last year. I know he only played a handful of snaps defensive end last year, but I think the Bears are worried about injuries, man. You got Dale coming off of a massive injury. Matza Sweat's another year older. Austin Booker's had injury problems since he was drafted in the NFL, multiple injury problems since he was drafted in the NFL. I think he's kind of obviously he's his major role is special teams, but he's more of a security blanket of defensive end. I like the move. I mean, you guys, we talked about this on Wednesday. Not every guy you sign can be a multi-million-dollar top of the line free agent.
And
You're
Dom
gonna
Rob's gone.
You have to fill in the cracks of the roster with these guys that people don't talk about much. And Daniel Hardy, I think, has played well in his time in Chicago. Dustin, I know you liked when they signed him last year.
I fucking love Daniel Hardy. Yeah. I love this re-signing. I do.
Yeah. So I think maybe he should see more time at defensive end. Maybe
can he slide in that Dominic Robinson role?
It's possible, but I think when you see Daniel Hardy on the field, no matter what, he is playing like his ass is on fire every second that he is on the field, and I love that about him. And I think that's why the Bears really love him on special teams, because he brings an energy to the team that not a lot of other people bring. And the point I wanted to make in regards to this that I made to y'all yesterday, man, like I think it's a great re-signing because you got to go back and think about how much the Bears won games on special teams this past season, guys. How many games came down to the special teams, onside kicks, blocked field goals, kick returns? Daniel Hardy was involved in a lot of that, man. Daniel Hardy is a damn good piece of this special teams. And I think if you would have lost him, it could have hurt that. You can't ignore the third phase, like you said, Brandon, especially on a team that has really counted on it to come through for them in really close games when they've needed a big play. The Bears turned multiple games around on special teams this past season. Big reason why they ended up in the playoffs. And it could be a plus, Brandon, if Daniel Hardy can get into that defensive end rotation, fill in that Dominique Robinson role potentially. I love what Daniel Hardy does. He plays with reckless abandon. He'll just get you some penalties, that you got to live with because of the way he plays.
Okay, in regards to special teams, we'll stay on topic, guys, and I'm sure the chat will love to talk about this one.
Because Mind of Murdoch? Did y'all already shout out Mind of Murdoch, by the way? Did we see this?
We shout out the chat multiple times, but not everybody individually. Mind of Murdoch, we appreciate you coming back. We know we're
got to get him the clap. Man.
Thank you very much.
Oh, he was here
once. Giving anybody the clap.
Okay, you seen him?
Yeah, Mind of Murdoch was. He's really active in the chat.
Come here,
everybody the clap. You get the clap. You get the clap, guys. I do want to ask you this: without. So we haven't heard it yet.
Deal,
I don't believe he's been signed by any NFL team, but Devin Duvernay is not under contract by the Bears. He wasn't brought back today. Is there a potential that they're moving Luther Burden into this return role?
Yeah, real quick, guys. Somebody asked, did Hardy recover the onside kick? No, he did not. That was Josh Blackwell. But
Hardy put the hit on the guy.
Yeah, Hardy was the guy.
Put the hit on Dobbs.
Yes,
that knocked the ball loose.
Yeah, and Hardy was the guy who I think he was the one who they originally thought it touched his foot, right? Wasn't that Hardy?
And Hardy, I think
Hardy and Sewell knocked Dobbs on his ass and then left that ball there.
When it wasn't a game-winning play, but Hardy did block a field goal last year as well. It wasn't the Blackwell block. It wasn't the block against the Raiders, but he did block a field goal last season. I don't remember where it was.
Daniel Hardy is not single-handedly dominating special teams and winning these games for the Bears, but he is a big part of the special teams that won a lot of games for the Bears when you go back and watch how these games unfold.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think he makes people accountable for playing with an energy, right?
He's been signed, Zach.
Yeah,
he holds people accountable to play with an energy, right? Daniel Hardy expects the best out of himself.
He brings up the level of everybody around him on that special teams unit. He plays with a fire, man.
Are the Bears intending on moving a player who's on this roster, this existing roster, into the I love Devin Duvernay. The thing that I've said most about him since he started here is You just know what you're getting out of him. It might not be a big return, but it's not a fumble. It's not a problem. He's not somebody you have to worry about.
He's
You can
reliable.
you can go
He's
to the fucking
consistent.
you can go to the
Yeah.
fucking bathroom when they're going to return a kick because this guy is not
Yeah,
going
but
to
it
turn the
depends
ball
how much
over.
he's asking for. I mean, that's one of those positions
not
where
gonna be
Burnett,
expensive, Kyle.
that's one of those positions where, and listen, I'm not saying that. Well, I mean, when it comes to the
Right.
Bears,
So is
4
the
million
intention
years
to
of
move
expensive
somebody
kick
on
returner.
like
If you can
Luther
get one on a
Burden
rookie,
into this
an
role?
undrafted free agent on a rookie deal for $850,000 a year, it's like I said, guys, I would cut Roschon Johnson right now and take that $2 million. I don't understand why that hasn't
I
happened.
would have cut Roschon Johnson 2 years ago, Kyle.
The Bears need to start cutting some dead
Fucking
weight
guy
here and freeing up
sucks.
a little more cap room. The Bears are going to, you guys, a chunk of this roster is going to be made up by undrafted free agents. There's going to be 4 or 5 guys in this roster who are undrafted free agents.
The special
The
teams
Bears,
guys, yes.
yeah, the Bears just don't have the money to
guys.
spend. And if you can find one of the best kick returners in college and draft them for at league minimum or get them as an undrafted free agent at league minimum, I would probably prefer going that route rather than giving somebody $4 million to be a kick punt returner.
I'll say this, Kyle. I wouldn't imagine he'd command more than 1.5 million.
Well, what did he get? What was his last contract with the Bears?
It was like 1.5 million a year. I don't think he's earned any more than that. I don't think he's getting any more than that from anyone else. So if you could re-sign him on that type of deal, Kyle, you'd be open to that. Yes, for him to continue to be your kick returner.
1.5, yeah.
Yes, and I think that's the range. He's not getting up over 2 million. I can guarantee you that. And I'll just say, Brandon, if when it comes to the Luther Burden thing, I would much rather him focus on being the best receiver possible now that DJ Moore ain't here. If DJ Moore was still here and you needed an opportunity to get Luther with the ball in his hands and make some plays, I'd be for it. But now he's possibly your number one receiver, depending on how he plays. I just want him to focus on that. I'm down to bring Duvernay back on a cheap deal, let him hold down that role and not give Luther Burden anything else to think about besides being the best fucking receiver he can be when he's on the field.
All right.
Yeah,
I agree with you, I agree with you, Dustin. The idea is so enticing of Luther Burden to have the ball whenever he can, but I also that's a play that it's a series of plays where players can often get injured too. I don't want to risk Luther Burden's health at the expense of special teams. I do want to ask you this, Kyle, since Dustin just stepped out. I'll ask you directly. They did just sign Case Keenum to a bigger deal than I thought he would ever get, to be honest with you, because this guy's a fucking clipboard. But is Tyson Bagent still being pitched as a way to acquire draft capital? Is Tyson Bagent likely not the second string quarterback on this football team come 2026?
Well, I mean, Brendan, you got to follow the stories, right? The news came out today that the Cardinals were very close to trading for Tyson Bagent. They offered a third. The Bears wanted a second. I think the Bears said they would be open to a third, but they want a late round pick included if they're going to accept a third over a second. So, and then now apparently the Steelers have called the Bears about Tyson Bagent. They are serious about trading for him. Well. Yeah, but I mean, when it comes down to it, guys, I think the offer just has to be right. I think the Bears, they've come out and said that they are willing to part ways with Tyson Bagent, and they certainly don't want to restrict him from having a chance to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. They think they owe him that for the work he's put in here. But yeah, I mean, it just has to be worth it. I mean, if you're offered a second round pick by the Steelers and Tyson Bagent gets a chance to start for a team that has a good competitive roster and made the playoffs last year, I think you have to let him go. I think you owe it to him. It would suck for the Bears. You know, I think Tyson Bagent's a really good backup, and I think he's now been in the system for a year, and it's one less hole and less work to do. But at the end of the day, Brandon, you've talked about this in the past. If you can get a second round pick, a guy who's going to be an immediate starter on this roster next year, or a guy who should at least be in a rotational role and helps this team win games, you're not going to win the Super Bowl if Caleb Williams is out for the season anyway. I'm all for it, man. I love Tyson Bagent, but if you can get a second round pick for him, or even a third and a fifth, and let him go to be a starter somewhere, or especially a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are a perennial playoff team and could, if all things go right, could be in the talk of a Super Bowl run. Why not? Why not? You owe it to him. How many chances do you think he's going to get in his life to be a starting quarterback in the NFL? Probably not many. If a team comes calling to ask for Tyson Bagent, they're willing to give you a second or a third and a fifth. We understand that's being reported what the Bears want, either a second or a third and a late round pick. Yes, you part ways with Tyson Bagent, 100%.
I'll slide this in there, Kyle. With the departure of Mike Tomlin, that team's not a playoff team, I don't think. But who knows? Maybe Tyson Bagent's the kind of player that changes.
Oh, I like Michael Pittman and DK Metcalf. I like that. You got to have somebody to give him the ball, but that's a damn good receiving.
6'4" plus. I would love to be a quarterback on that football team. Dustin, what do you think? Is Case Keenum signing a signal that the Bears are going to push really hard to try to acquire draft capital on Tyson Bagent?
I don't think you go give him that kind of money if you're not thinking like that's still a possibility. I think they're trying to wait to see how this free agent market plays out with the quarterbacks. You saw
I
Malik
agree.
Willis. You saw
Yeah, 'cause
Malik
it's a
Willis sign with the
necessity thing,
Dolphins
right?
today, right?
Quarterbacks.
You saw Tua sign with the Falcons on a very cheap
Gardner
deal.
Minshew to the Cardinals.
Gardner Minshew to the Cardinals. Yes. So, I mean, that eliminates the Cardinals as a trade partner with the Bears potentially, unless they're thinking about just putting the best possible group together and seeing who wins out. So, I mean, you got to let all these dominoes fall, and they might fall to the point where there's nobody to dance with for the Bears in terms of making this trade, guys. And I think the Bears are okay with being with those three quarterbacks too, because Case Keenum plays a role, guys, that you don't even care if he's on the field because he is in Caleb's ear consistently and constantly.
He's a clipboard.
Right? Yeah. Well, he's a coach. He's another coach. They just paid a coach. So, like, if he has to play and they move Bagent, I think they're okay with that. That's what that money signifies to me. But they're okay with paying him that money so he can be that mentor for Caleb on the field when Ben Johnson's busy calling the fucking game, and being a head coach.
Yeah, it's just we want the Clay.
Dustin, I agree with
God, I
everything
wish
you
there was
said.
returns on investment.
I think the Bears are like kind of at this point, like if we can get draft capital for him, or at least a pick we think is worthy of Tyson Bagent, then yeah, we're all for it. If not, and he's still here, not a big deal. We're okay with that too.
Maybe a draft day trade. Maybe a draft day trade, something like that. Where
I think that's exactly the mentality.
And maybe the Bears feel
we're happy no matter what.
Maybe if the Bears also feel Tyson Bagent's under contract with Ben Johnson for another season, he's just gaining more draft capital.
Why are all these people so under the impression that Case Keenum's just like the worst quarterback in the world and he can't play anymore? I mean, the last time Case Keenum was a starting quarterback, listen, I understand that was 3 or 4
years. He doesn't have an arm, Kyle. He doesn't really
but I mean, it's Tyson Bagent doesn't really have an arm. I mean,
you're dinking and dunking.
Case Keenum's a game manager. I think he would do the exact same thing Tyson Bagent would do if he came in. You're not going to ask him to throw 70-yard bombs. You're going to ask him to kind of manage the offense.
Well, that's a concern, though. That's a concern, though.
I still think Case Keenum is capable of doing that, guys. I think he's more
for sure. But
I think he can win a game against a bad defense.
Your offense will stagnate without Caleb Williams and the deep ball. This offense becomes very, very different, and that's a huge concern. Huge concern.
But if that's your concern, then you need to go get a guy who has a better arm than Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, I agree, and which is why Bagent is movable, which is why you're okay with moving on from him, because he doesn't have those arm traits that you're looking for in a quarterback that you want to keep. He's a solid player. He's acquitted himself well to this team and this offense, and he's done a lot for himself given where he came from. It's a very great story, man. But if you can get any kind of value for him, I'll continue to say it. You got to jump on it. And you got to do it.
If you can ship out any backup and replace him with an immediate starter in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft, you take that every time, guys. Every single time.
Yeah, and then you just reload.
If somebody today was like, "Hey, we'll give you a 2nd round pick for Terrell Smith," yes, yes, absolutely, he's yours. Take him. And by all accounts, we all think that Terrell Smith's a pretty damn good player. And if he needed to fill in for a couple of games, the Bears wouldn't really skip a beat. But
just like we remember all
somebody offered a 3rd round pick.
Sorry, Kyle. If the Bears do re-sign Kevin Byard, and you've now solidified at least your starting safeties, your linebacking core is pretty set, I believe, unless you, like you said, you want to draft a future piece. How likely? How much of the odds increased?
Yeah, I remember all the crap you talked about Caleb Williams, Judah.
That's what I was saying, Kyle. That's what I was saying. Yeah, Judah, you're gonna end up on the wrong side of this. You have been this entire time. Just keep enjoying it. It's cool.
How much of the odds increased that Ben Johnson is willing to take an offensive player with the 25th pick in the draft? If you do,
if it's a left tackle, I think it's 100%.
I think the odds are the same as they've been this whole time. I think, but the Bears are going to take the best player available on their board at 25, whether it's offense or defense. That's what
if there's a Josh Simmons type tackle there at 25, and Ben Johnson believes he's going to be like their starting left tackle for the next 8-10 years, and they might have to move on from
better tackle than Joe Pillow.
Then yeah, I think 100% that's an option. Don't you guys think that as an offensive coach, Ben Johnson, who loves scoring, we've talked about it a million times. I don't care about the tush push. I like throwing downfield. A guy who averaged 33 points a game in his last season in Detroit. Don't you think he probably ultimately wants to finish this offense off before anything else? Like at least try to get it as close to perfect as he possibly can, because it's never going to be perfect. You're always going to have holes, injuries. It's always going to happen. But I think his goal is to score as many points as possible. I think that's it. And if you want to score as many points as possible, you better protect your quarterback's blind side.
Yeah, the offensive line is a big concern, guys. You don't have your starting left tackle, your center retired. I like the Bradbury move. I know you guys talked about it, but I like it
too because it was the best available option.
And honestly, even phrasing it that way, I think doesn't give it enough justice because this guy played over 1,000 snaps last year and didn't allow a sack. He's one of the most athletic centers in the NFL, which is going to play really well in a zone blocking Ben Johnson offense. I think he's going to perform a lot better than people expect. I think Poles made chicken salad out of chicken shit with this move, and I think Bradbury's going to be a damn good addition to this offensive line, especially when you consider he's going to be in between Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney. I think it's just and Joe Tooney, a former roommate of his, college teammate. Like there's something there, and I think for what they gave up in the position they were put in unexpectedly, damn good move to kind of solidify that interior and keep that going, because that was the key to the changes on that offensive line. And you look back last year, the left tackle was a revolving door for over half the goddamn season, just like we said it would be, guys. So if that's still the case this year, you're really in no different position than you were last year.
And the same people who are like, well, don't draft a tackle at 25 because you have Ozzie Trapillo here, and Ozzie Trapillo is going to be back the year following. First of all, you don't know that. Second of all,
yeah, you can't bank on it.
Second of all, people keep saying that they want Taylor. Those same people are saying they want Taylor Decker. You guys, Taylor Decker asked to be released. He requested his release because the Lions would not give him a multi-year extension. That means if he comes to the Bears, the only way he would do so if it's at least a 2-year contract. That's why he left Detroit in the first place.
Somebody threw that in the chat earlier.
So if it's a 2-year contract, either way, you're going to have Ozzie Trapillo here with another tackle. Either way, whether you draft one or if you sign Decker, either way, you have 2 tackles.
I don't see Taylor Decker being an option for the Bears.
I don't think so either.
I think that the signing of Braxton Jones kind of signifies that they don't see themselves signing any left tackle.
Yeah, if you're going to sign Decker, you wouldn't sign Braxton Jones.
Yeah,
that would be stupid.
Correct.
That would be counterproductive.
You already have Benedette as a backup.
Yeah,
to both
and you can
positions.
go get a guy in the 7th round in case you need an emergency, and you could still have Karan Amagaji, whoever, if you needed like an emergency tackle. You would not have re-signed Braxton Jones. I mean, that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, and they signed
Kyle. That's why I'm saying he's going to end up starting the season as your left tackle. That's what I believe.
I think
unless they draft a guy at 25, Kyle.
Yeah, starting, maybe not finishing.
Yeah, no, like I just said, the same exact thing as last year, right? Like this is going to be another evolving situation at that position this year, which we felt really wary about going into last year. But after seeing how Ben Johnson worked it and played it out this year,
Justin, what if they draft one? What if they draft one at 25?
That's what I just said. Unless you draft one at 25 that you know is going to be a plug-and-play starter, that's a different thing. But I still believe they would compete with Braxton Jones for that starting spot. And it's highly possible with the way Ben Johnson approaches his business that Braxton Jones is still starting the season while that rookie continues to come along.
Don't worry.
Exactly
don't worry.
how he played it out.
Don't worry. He'll get hurt in week 4 and we won't have an option. So
yeah, or he'll get benched like he did this past year. I'm just saying that I trust Ben Johnson and this offensive line coach, Rocher, to work this the way they did it last year, because you still have all the right pieces in the other spots. I don't think the sky is falling on this offensive line, guys, like a lot of people feel with the Bradbury trade. I think he's a good player. I think you're still solid on the interior, and you got one of the best right tackles in the NFL.
I agree,
but what they did with the left tackle last year.
It does suck to be back in this position when you drafted a guy who I believe was a good left tackle, Ozzie Trapillo. Listen, I'm not saying he was Trent Williams. I never said that. People keep acting like I think he was the best left tackle in football, but maybe he's not. But I think the Bears were in a pretty good position with Ozzie Trapillo over there and Theo Benedette backing him up. And you probably wouldn't have to re-sign Braxton Jones. It just sucks to be in the same position again. I feel like we've talked about the left tackle for the last 15 years. At some point, if the Bears get a chance at a really damn good one, like if there's one there at 25 who they think is going to be like a perennial Pro Bowler, I'm taking him, man. I'm sorry. I think you have to. I think you have to. I don't think you have I think the option is taken out of your hands, man.
No, I agree 100%. And all I'm saying is, I think the Bears have better options at that left tackle spot. And I mean, Prophet just brought up Theo Benedette. That's another. This guy started as well because of the way they worked it last year. You have Theo Benedette with starting experience. You have Braxton Jones with starting experience. Maybe you're going to draft a left tackle as well. I trust Ben Johnson to get the best guy to play that role as the season goes on. By the time you get ready for your stretch run, they will have a solidified starting left tackle option out of one of those 2 to 3 guys, depending on who they draft.
You have Joe Tooney with starting experience, and you've got some quality depth at guard with Luke Newman. So who knows what the Bears are going to. I think that, like we said all last year, guys, the best 5 players. Dan Rochar is going to put the best 5 players on the field when the season starts. Guys, a name I wanted to talk about very briefly because there's probably not a whole lot of content here, but. Is it a knock on Ryan Poles that you traded a 6th-round pick for a player last year that you haven't yet re-signed?
No, it was an emergency situation. They felt like they needed a pass rusher. I mean, they were running out of bodies. You're not going to get a
We're talking about try and shine pick, guys.
You get a defensive end who's worth a damn for less than a 6th-round pick. I mean,
I don't.
You got a 7th in return.
if you're trading a seventh away to get a defensive end, he's not even worth trading for. That guy's not even worth trading for. I mean, I think they were in a tough situation. They felt like they were running out of bodies. One more injury. I mean, you guys imagine if they would have lost like Montez Sweat for 4 weeks, they would literally it would have been DJ Moore rushing the passer.
I would have been playing.
They ran out of options. They had to.
Yeah, that was a in the moment move that they had. I agree, Kyle. They had to make something happen
move.
To have just enough bodies to throw out there. I liked the move when they did it. I thought he would.
I thought he played pretty decent.
Well, and I think he did. And if you can re-sign him, you can. If you can't, I don't think that that's any real skin off your back. I think they understood that they weren't making this move thinking that he's going to be a starting defensive end for them. Brandon, they gave him a 6 pick, like you said.
I think with the departure of Dominic Robinson got signed. I forget.
Yeah, they are J2K,
and they cut Passignon. So is there a possibility that they still bring Tryon-Shanka back in that role? The role that we talked Hardy might step into. Is there a chance this guy, after you traded 6-round pick for him, is a 1 year?
I think everything I think everything is at this point is an option. I think everything's on the table.
It's all on the table.
I don't think the Bears have ruled anything out. You guys, that Justin. I think you said earlier when you came on the show, they're going to have to sign some space fillers. I mean, there's going at some point either you're undrafted free agents, you're guys who are just like this, like you said, Dustin. $1.7 million for a kick returner, big deal. Not a big if you can get a backup defensive end here, like in case for emergency body here for $1 million or league minimum, you're probably going to see one of those signings. Brendan, what do you think Shayenka's asking for? I mean, it can't be
very little.
He's not going to be more than $2 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, so if he comes back, I'm cool with it. If not, I'm cool with it. To be honest with you, I'm fine either way.
I think kind of hit it all, but I do want to. We've had over damn near 100 in the building the entire show, guys. We've got well over 100 chats on the show so far. Please hit that like for us, guys. Please hit that like. Share the show with a friend. Tell people about 4-Star Chicago Sports. We're going to be here off season, but if you guys let's get to some of these chats. I know we haven't been able to read them. They're coming in so fast.
Michael says, because of the signing at safety, I feel good with drafting another left tackle in the second. So for me, it will have to be defensive end and left tackle in the second, or left tackle in the first and defensive end and defensive tackle in the second. I just don't, again, personally, I'm not boxing. Poles, we know, is not boxing himself into making a choice based on position in the draft. He is going to take the best players on his board in those spots, and he'll continue to do that. And if he doesn't have somebody he likes in that spot, he's going to be more than willing to trade back and accrue some more.
And remember, guys, in his most recent interview, he said when you're in the back half of the first round and you're not in the top 10 like we have been, you have to broaden your horizons. You have to. You have to be.
I could totally see him trading into the second round and accruing more draft picks.
Yeah, I mean, you guys. So Justin, would you be upset? Like this, here's a good example. Like the Bears have a lot. Their biggest holes are defensive tackle, defensive end, and safety. Would you be upset if the best corner in the entire draft fell to 25 and the Bears decided to take him? I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't.
No, not at all, because I don't
think
star
power.
I don't think that's solidified. I think that this team needs studs.
Omar Cooper
along the defense, and another receiver. Yes, Brandon. Omar Cooper is in my mind could be the best receiver in this draft. And there's some mocks that have him in the first. There's some guys that have him ranked as a second round, projection. I think it's going to really come down to how the board falls. I personally, Kyle, if I'm boxing myself in by position,
Bear down agrees, guys. You could see a trade back in the first round.
I want 2 fucking starting defensive tackles in this draft. If
I wouldn't be upset at all.
If I was going to say I have to come away with something in this draft, me and Brandon did a mock, and we could do another mock tonight if you guys want. Who knows? People love it. But me and Brandon did one on Thursday where we ended up with Banks in the first round and Caden McDonald in the second round.
That would be amazing. That'd be absolutely.
I mean, you took your 3 take, your 1 take.
How much better does that make your ends in that spot?
That makes your whole defense. That's a totally different defense. That's a completely different defense. You get those 2 guys, your defense has changed immediately in the span of 10 minutes. Yeah, I agree with you, Dustin. I don't think they're like honed in on any single player. I think the Bears are at this point are like. I think the Bears at this time are like, hey guys, at some point you have to add star power. You have to add star power. The more star power you add, the better your defense is going to get. And I don't think it matters where in the field they are. I really don't. I think the Bears can get the best corner, then get the best corner. If you think you can get the best tackle, then get the best tackle. If you think you can get the best end, then get the best end. You think you can get the best safety,
and Kyle,
if you add star power,
the mock on Thursday.
Well, Kyle, and they took care of the linebacker position today. We had drafted McDonald. And we drafted 2 starting tackles. We pretty much took care of the tackle position because you've got depth. And then we drafted Halsey, who would be playing next to Coby Bryant. your defense was just overhauled in the first 3 picks of the
Which is
draft.
why
in
a
every
mock
pick.
tonight would be fun, guys, because you got some signings. You kind
And
of
now
know some
you can
holes
stray
that
away from
fit.
linebacker. You don't got to focus so much on that right now, right? So like,
Yeah.
I think
I-
a mock draft would be a blast. I think if we're going to
So
take a
here's the question
linebacker,
about the
it's still going to
linebackers,
be a
though.
late round guy.
Yeah, Brandon. Here's the question, and Kyle. Here's the question about the linebackers, though. Is TJ Edwards a starter?
Yeah.
I said
Right
that. I
now.
said that. I think he is. I
No.
think
I'm
Bush
starting
is.
DeMarco Jackson over TJ Edwards. All
Yeah.
fucking
No,
day.
rotation.
I want to be
I think it's a
fast. I'm with
rotation.
you, man.
I think it's a rotation. I mean, would you guys be upset if Sonny Styles fell to 25 and the Bears were like, yeah, we just signed Devin
Yeah,
Bush and
fat
Jamarco
fucking
Jackson, but we're
chance.
drafting Sonny Styles? Would you be upset about that? Like, well,
No.
oh man, we just signed these 2
He's the
linebackers.
top-
Now we're
would have
drafting
been a
another.
top 5 player in the
No,
draft.
of course not. Of course not, man. I mean, take star power in your defense.
No, but Brandon, Kyle,
Team
you
will
think
be
would
better.
you start DeMarco Jackson over TJ Edwards?
Yes, for the speed.
I would rotate him. I'd rotate. I want to see how TJ Edwards.
TJ
responds.
Edwards is done.
That's
to me,
I don't
man.
know. I don't know. Maybe he is. You guys read the article, right? That he also was injured all year last year, right? You heard about
Yeah,
that?
for sure.
But Kyle, he
hamstring was injured.
just became your number 1 cut candidate in 2027. There's no fucking doubt about that. With the money you would save from cutting Edwards next year, he is probably not on this football team after this season. So you got to start focusing on the guys who are.
Well, or you can keep the guys who are healthy, and you can beat the shit out of the guy who's on his way out the door. I mean, listen, I'll tell you this, guys. I don't know who's starting. TJ Edwards is going to play for the Bears this year. I can tell you that for a fact. I don't know how often. I don't know how much, what percentage of the snaps, but he's going to be in the field. I mean, they just signed him to a multi-year extension. He's definitely going to play for the Bears this year.
Yeah, but that was a bad signing, Kyle. It was a bad signing.
Sure, but what if DeMarco,
you guys is going to be worse with him on the field than
you also have depth now, guys. I mean, what if DeMarco Jackson starts and he tears his ACL? I mean, you got
but I think something I want to focus on. Like,
if I could trade Edwards, I would do it in a second.
It's very clear. Listen, Dennis Allen drafted Ruben Hippolyte. Dennis Allen probably suggested that Devin Bush and DeMarco Jackson's a Dennis Allen guy. He played with him in New Orleans, and then he suggested. I would imagine that he heavily suggested to Ryan Poles that Devin Bush be acquired, added to this football team. It's very clear. The thing we can say is the most clear when it comes to Dennis Allen and what way this defense is going to direction this defense is going to go is the linebacker position needs to be fast. With the acquisition of Ruben Hippolyte, the acquisition of Bush, these guys are fast. I don't know if TJ Edwards even holds a place on this defense anymore. Does he, guys?
Well, but every time the Bears sign somebody, people are like, "Well, trade everybody else behind him." I mean, but then we complain about depth. You know, like, listen. I understand what you guys are going to say.
Well, that's some expensive.
It's the money. Yes, it's the money. I knew exactly what you're going to say. But if you're paying DeMarco Jackson as a backup to start, then what does it matter? I mean, either way, you're paying a starter, right?
Would it shock you guys if TJ Edwards was traded tomorrow?
I think
it would shock me that a team would take
that contract. Yeah, but I think he's going to be in the rotation. Yeah, 100%. I think you asked me who's going to start. I don't know. Is TJ Edwards going to play? Yes. 100%.
Guys, I think the chat has spoken. They want a mock.
Yeah, they want a mock. They want a
mock.
Out
here want a mock.
Kyle, you gonna stick around for a mock?
Yeah, sure. Bring it up.
You want to do it?
Here we go, guys.
Anything else we need to get to? I mean,
draft.
we know we signed a starting safety. We signed a starting linebacker, 2 starting linebackers in my mind, right? With DeMarco Jackson and Bush. Neville Gallimore is going to be a rotation.
Can I just say? I know you guys hate when I do this, but I have to. On Thursday night, on a bare minimum, I said, guys, when this shit kicks off, the Bears are gonna address their linebacker position in free agency, not in the draft. And I firmly believe this was a quality class.
Brandon, it's such a strong draft at linebacker. I still might want to
take a linebacker. But it was a really strong free agency in linebacker. It really was. It was it's better than any position, right? What do you guys, Kyle? Do you agree? What was the best position in this free agency?
I don't care.
You had Coby Dean. You had Devin White. You had Leo Chenal.
Hey, what's the strongest position in free agency? I think he brought Dennis Allen was like, which player do you want? Who do you want? And he was like, I would love Devin Bush because he's really fast. I would love Coby Bryant because he's really fast and he's versatile and he plays both safety positions. He even played a lot of corner in the NFL his first 2 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah, there's clearly a theme here that Ryan.
I trust the coaching staff. I trust the coaching staff. If Dennis Allen said I'd rather adjust the linebacker situation in free agency than the draft, and that's the way they wanted to go, I'm all for it. If he would have said I want to address the defensive tackle position in free agency and I'd draft a linebacker in the draft, I would have been all for it. I'm all for it, man. I trust this coaching staff until they give me a reason not to.
Can I ask a question? Did we discuss the fact that the Bears did not get these comp picks? Was that talked about?
I mean, we talked about it. I said on Sean asked me.
We talked on here about this.
We brought it up not today. We brought it up on
Kyle was
Wednesday. And I
saying
said it
that
was not
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. There's no such thing as an appeal to not going to get. You can complain. You can file a grievance, but you cannot appeal not getting.
I'm fucking grieving. I am a griever.
Yeah. The Bears didn't get those compensatory picks for promoting a minority candidate because the Falcons hired a fucking white guy to have a greater position than the minority guys. Yeah, there you go. NFL staying true.
Not only that, guys, but they traded away and cut $130 million worth of contracts. I mean, how they didn't get a compensatory pick is absolutely amazing to me. So many people in the chat keep saying the NFL hates the Bears. The NFL hates the Bears. It's certainly starting to seem that way for sure. Dustin, let's get this mock draft.
Who does it benefit for the Bears to not get those comp picks? Who's on the other side of that being like, yes, it makes sense for the Bears to not get those fucking picks?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We've talked about it a lot, man, but it just became official today, and I saw it, and I was busy, but I read through it, and it pissed me off. I'm looking for the Bears on that list of comp picks, and they weren't fucking there, and I find that to be fraudulent. I find that to be completely backwards of what the whole spirit of this rule in place, what it's for. It is exactly what you put this rule in place for, is exactly what happened when Cunningham got signed by the fucking Falcons to be their general manager, and you spit in the face of your own fucking bullshit rule. Ryan Poles said it's a bullshit rule.
On top of that,
take advantage of it if we are
at the combine. Ian Cunningham was like, I don't understand. I am the GM. I'm the general manager, and I am in charge of football decisions. That's why I was brought here. That is my job.
Matt Ryan said it to aid. Ryan said it to aid
everybody
the Bears in this debate.
Everybody
Matt Ryan said,
was like,
I'm not doing shit. This guy's in charge. Like, I don't know what this is about. Matt Ryan even said, I don't know why this is even a conversation.
Maybe he's too light skinned of a black guy to get them. I don't know how exactly. It just doesn't make sense to me, guys. The Rooney Rule. There's just so many holes in this.
What's fucked up about it, guys, is it's not just like it's completely contradictory to the whole reason this thing exists.
The rule. Yes.
You have literally, as the NFL, just basically made a joke out of the Rooney Rule.
Right there. Maybe it's because Ian didn't hire that coach. Maybe that's why.
No, J2K said it's because Cunningham reports to Ryan and not ownership.
He reports to a white guy. That's what it is. Yeah, the minority reports to a white guy.
So because of the buffer, all right. So the Bears.
So
if Ryan Poles, it just doesn't make sense. It's dumb. Whatever. Let's start the mock draft.
It is a sore subject, as was said in the chat. You guys are killing in the chat, by the way. If you haven't hit that like button yet, what the fuck are you doing? If you're not subscribed, what the fuck are you doing? This is 4-Star Chicago Sports. That's Kyle and Brandon. They are not the same person. You are not drunk. These are two different people. yeah. John called. Kyle had a take on Wednesday. Brandon had an opposite take on Thursday, and John threw it out there. He's like, you just had the complete different take yesterday. I was like, well, those are two different.
Kyle,
people.
Did you see this? You said something. You said something about Dalman's retirement on Wednesday. I said a different thing on Thursday, and John goes, "You're speaking out of two sides of your fucking mouth, Brandon. You're so contradictory. You always just talk over your own words. Like, whoa. We're two different people, guys."
Yeah, it was
and I didn't even say. I saw the comment. I didn't even say what John said. I said that little comment was wrong in every way possible. All right, guys, let's get to the mock draft.
He said you basically think
we're working on it.
Drew Dalman's a piece of shit.
No, I didn't say that. I said I totally. If that's what he has to do, if he feels he needs to retire, fine. But at least give the Bears fans an explanation. That's all I said.
You guys see that AI picture?
I have nothing against Drew Dalman as a human being. I'm just upset that we lost our show.
I don't know that he owes us anything, to be honest. But
I just think it would have been the professional thing to do, man. If I was personally, if I was in his position, I would have come out and been like, "Hey, Bears fans, I took $20 million from the franchise last year. I signed a 3-year contract. I didn't even finish 365 days. Can I at least explain why before you guys jump all over?"
That's all. You're pretending like one of us isn't more attractive
I understand
than
if
the
you
other.
Want to do that, sure. I have nothing against Drew Dalman. I'm sure he's probably a good guy, and he's probably worried about the future and the future of his family. I just wanted an explanation as a Bears fan. That's all. Just tell me
an explanation from Jonathan.
Tell us why. That's it. That's all. That's all I ask.
I'll call you by your middle name.
I feel like when you do that, though, Kyle, you end up just kind of making things worse. I don't think he owes anybody.
The exact color
dude, I'm just telling you what I would have done. That's
Yeah,
all.
I hear you, but and that's
all
your
I
choice,
want.
just like it's Dalman's choice to not say anything.
90% of
about
the
it.
time, even when players get traded, guys, or demand a trade and leave a city, like when Parsons left the Cowboys, traded from the Cowboys, he was the one demanding a trade. He came out and addressed the Cowboys fans. Hey, sorry, I talked to the front office numerous times. We couldn't reach an agreement on a deal. I just need to change of scenery. I need to improve my life. Like it was cool that he did that to the Dallas Cowboys fans. Like I know you guys are mad at me. I know you're mad at me for trying to demanding to get the hell out of here. But this is why. You have to understand why I did it. That's all I asked. Just a
Drew
tweet.
didn't set the precedence, though. Chris Borland walked away from the sport, and a lot of people were left in the dark as to why until he said, like, I've suffered concussions. It's my health is more important
Yeah,
to
and
me.
that would be much more justifiable for fan base.
Andrew
Like, hey,
Luck,
man, this guy's
Andrew
one hit
Luck
away from
did the
being
same
like
thing.
having CTE. I get
Yeah,
it.
Steve.
Steve. It's much easier to stomach when he's like, hey, guys, I'm one hit away from a life-ruining injury. Then you'd be like, oh, of course we understand why you retired, man. That's 100% warranted.
You know
You
that
made
the
the right
NFL
move.
is a fucking tough sport to play, Kyle, and it's gonna
Yeah, I mean,
tear
dude, you
down your
guys, we've
body,
had
tear down
conversations
your
on this.
spine, yeah.
We've had
Yeah,
conversations on this
if Brisker
podcast.
retired today, would
yeah,
you
we
be
would have been fine
upset
if
with him?
Brisker retired.
Kyle, he gave them enough notice to make a move. That at least he did that. He gave a solid enough notice before free agency and draft.
I know, but we're talking like there's
I
another
don't think
side.
he owes
There's
anyone
no-
an explanation.
For me personally, that's what I think personally, dude. If you guys
Yeah.
disagree, that's fine. If
Yeah,
John
for
S
sure.
disagrees, that's
For
fine.
sure.
Personal decision, for
I
sure.
just think
100%.
I just think he should have come out to the fan base. This fan base that they probably are Drew Dalman jerseys out there with Chicago Bears. They spent money on that shit. They were just be like, hey man, Drew, we love you. Where are you going? Why are you going? Sure, that's all I asked. I wasn't like, hey, Drew Dalman, you're a piece of shit.
There's an argument
Stanford
to be
guy?
made. You know, he is. There's an argument to be made.
Christ.
Like you're in the public eye. You're playing for a team that
Good catch, Bear Dog.
your contract is paid by the fans. That's just the reality. So maybe it's just like a congressperson would owe an explanation to their constituents. I can see what you're saying, Kyle. Like where that could help in terms of lightening the blow, but I just don't hold it against him if he never tells us why. I think we kind of all understand why.
I don't hold it against him. I think it would just been a more seamless transition if we knew why. Because now it's like, what the fuck, bro? You just signed a 3-year contract to be here. You're one of the best centers.
It feel like he was just trying to get to that second contract, and
I feel like and then he waited for the guarantees to kick in for next year before he decided to retire.
What if Caleb kissed him on the head?
Anything about it?
We just don't know.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, safety Reed Blankenship sucks. Signed with the Texans. I think you guys touched on that earlier.
That guy's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Reed Blankenship is awful.
No, Mac ain't looking for a new contract no more. He re-signed with the Chargers.
Yep.
Yeah, just so you guys know. So Mac is not an option.
18 million, right? 17, 18 million.
We can all see this pretty well, right? In terms of the all right. I logged into Sean's PFF. Hopefully he doesn't get mad.
Make sure this is on fast. By the way, guys, if you pay
it's
for
on
PFF,
turbo,
you can just ask AI for PFF grades.
18 million for Mac. Thanks, Phil.
It's on turbo, Brandon. It's not just on fast.
Turbo.
It's on turbo.
Fucking
We're doing
Sonic.
7 rounds. Chicago Bears starting at pick 25. Let's do it.
Are we humoring trades?
No, we are not doing any trades. No trades.
It's a no trade clause.
Paul Rodriguez decided no trades. I agreed with him.
This is a restricted mock draft.
All right. So here we are. Omar Cooper went at pick 24. I'm telling you, this guy's going to go in the first round. And then I also wanted to bring up that Slim kept bringing up that the Bears could get Zion Young and Akeem Mesidor in the second round. That is not happening. Akeem Mesidor will be a first-round pick. He might go in the teens. He went at 22 here. Just want to make it clear, like you're not getting Akeem Mesidor in the second round. I saw J2K point that out, but I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Justin, where did Sonny Styles go? Just out of curiosity. I just want
probably number 3. Oh, nope, number 2 to the Jets. And guys, Fernando Mendoza is going to be a good quarterback. I'm just saying that the Raiders, watch out for those guys. Just watch out. I feel like they're going to turn.
Who's he throwing to? Jalen Naylor?
I think Caleb Downs might fall further than that. But
Caleb Downs with the injury, that's a problem.
Eats a little high for that. But who knows?
Look at this though. Dylan Thieneman, number 10 to the Bengals. Wow, that's the highest I've seen him.
If Caleb Downs falls to the Bears, are you drafting him?
Fuck yes.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Absolutely.
Caleb Banks went at 23 to the Eagles. So that in that scenario, they're definitely getting rid of Carter. If they draft Caleb Banks and just re-sign Jordan Davis, they would definitely be moving on from Jalen Carter. All right, so that's kind of the breakdown of where we're at right now. Best players available, guys. Ranked 22 by PFF, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. There's our safety. If you put a McNeil Warren next to Coby Bryant, you got a damn good starting safety tandem.
There it is. There it is, fellas.
Blake Miller, tackle.
Somebody said it in the
There's your
chat.
left
Somebody said it in the
tackle.
chat earlier, by the way. I think it
Let's
was
keep up with the
J2K.
chat. Let's keep up with the chat, please. I'm not looking at it, so make sure.
Oh, you're on the
staying-
chat, Kyle. You're on chat.
Sorry, I can't. Sorry, my screen. I can't. It's tough to see when it's not blown up.
Oh, it's tough to see.
So I'm looking at Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Guys, here's our left tackle, Blake Miller, out of Clemson. Solid player. Cassius Howell, who I'm not touching personally. His arms are way too short. Caden McDonald, there's your nose tackle.
Mendoza will be a bust. So
TJ Parker and Peter Woods. Woo! Do we go
Dog,
Peter Woods?
Really, I'm out on Trey Hendrickson, but I totally understand why people like him.
Yeah, they're not signing Trey Hendrickson.
I just don't see it. But he's saying that Adam Schefter just reported that the Bears are still
and talking to
very
him?
strong possibility for candidates for Trey Hendrickson.
I would be shocked if they signed Trey Hendrickson, but I would not be upset if they did.
All right, Dustin. Right now we have two people. Or
And they have 4
J2K.
tracks. Did you say their cap is? Didn't you just say their cap is 13 million?
They're gonna have to restructure to make room to sign a guy like fucking.
Well, guys, I can't keep up with you. So J2K says TJ Parker is best available and fits. Romy says Peter Woods. Phil says Peter Woods.
I'm leaning towards Peter Woods too, guys. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
I'm
It's
leaning
Emmanuel
towards
McNeil
drafting
Warren
your
or Peter
starting
Woods.
safety right here.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's EMW or Woods. That's for me personally.
EMW.
I also like.
Sounds like a drug.
I also like Cassius Howell, but I mean, I know that a lot of people are a fan of all the edges in this draft, and they've short arms and all the other shit. But yeah, for me, it's probably Woods.
Kyle, did you see that since 2000, defensive ends that have arms shorter than 31 inches haven't had a double-digit sack season?
Well, is Cassius Howell shorter than 31 inches though? I think he's over.
Yes, he is shorter. He is shorter than Reuben Bain. His arms are shorter than Reuben Bain's.
Hey man, we talked about this a lot last year, and people said Will Campbell would be a really good left tackle. A lot of people said his arms are too short. I mean,
how did it play out? He had some good games, but he also had some really shitty ones. But he was also injured, so I don't know, man. Like I liked Will Campbell, I ignored it for sure. But when you see that since 2000, defensive ends under that arm length haven't had a double-digit sack season, that's some pretty overwhelming. Statistics.
Yeah, but I'd like to see who exactly all those guys. I think Cash Howell's gonna be a very good player in the NFL. But like I said, I'm still fine. I'm fine with Woods.
We'll make this first pick after we get up to 20 likes. 20 likes.
Yeah, Romy says save.
We're at like 30.
Romy says
Okay,
saves
40 likes. 40.
You guys,
We've had 413.
I have to address the chat because it's going really fast. I can't. I'm not gonna keep
address
going
the
back
fucking
up.
chat, Kyle. Leave them out.
Quiet. Romy says get safety with pick 57 or 60.
Peter
Pure
Woods
Down says BPA is how Ryan Poles will go. And it sounds like Michael, I don't know. Are you saying that you want Jacob Rodriguez here? I'm confused. I'm not really sure.
Well, those are later on. Right now, I think we're down.
The chat.
Right now, I think we're down to Emmanuel McNeil Warren or Peter Woods.
Dante Purify says Peter Woods.
He says, I guess, though. And then he
J2K says he wants the safety man, Emmanuel or Mike Williams. I'm saying Peter Woods, man.
J2K keeps saying Peter Woods is not a fit. I don't understand why he's saying that. I don't necessarily agree
because
with
a lot of guys don't think Dennis Allen wants a true one technique. Listen,
he likes bigger. Well, he's not a one technique. Peter Woods is a three technique.
I think we go.
He likes bigger defensive tackles, is what J2K continues to say. I think Peter Woods is a fucking stud, guys.
Guys, everybody's going Peter Woods.
Okay, and I think we got to go with the chat on this, guys.
Yeah, everybody's going Peter Woods, except for
Emmanuel McNeil Warren is hard to pass up here. He really is, but I think Peter Woods.
Yeah, because he's not gonna be there at 25 when the Bears draft.
Well, we're at 20. Oh yeah, and you mean in real life?
Yeah, in real life.
All right, Peter Woods it is.
All right, we're going Peter Woods.
Yep, they got like half the draft is saying or half the chat.
All right, Peter Woods it is.
And we're doing this, guys, based on what the roster the Bears have after.
J2K is going to be very disappointed with that. Oh man, there's Jadarian Price right up top there. Shit, I don't want him. I want Jadarian Price.
Woods is an ST, a 5 tech. Okay.
Well, he'll be a 3 tech in this defense. He's gonna rush the passer from the spot that.
So this is kind
of Jacob Rodriguez went the pick before the Bears,
and Jake Golday right before it as well. Who I like. I like Golday better than Rodriguez.
So you have Shadarian Price here, but you're still missing a starting safety.
Yep, you are. So I was gonna look at safeties real quick. Let's see.
We're doing this based off the roster the Bears have
Man.
today.
All right. So we got Kamari Ramsey still here, Genesis Smith, who a lot of people like, Zakee Wheatley, Bud Clark. I mean, you got some options here, but these guys are
I think you could take Bud Clark in the third.
yeah, and you can also take Wheatley
I
later
like
on.
I
as
like
well.
all these guys.
I do too.
I like Michael Taft too. They're all
So
good players.
Jadarian Price it is. What?
I mean,
I like
Jadarian
Kamari
Price
Ramsey a lot.
would be a hell of a pick here. What's the chat saying, Kyle?
Hold on. No, since I
Stooks?
think you got to show more options, Dustin.
So Dustin
oh,
sucks.
no, it's just Dante says price.
Yeah, I'm all for the Jadarian Price pick right here, man. That's a game changing running back.
J2K says Stooks.
I like Stooks.
Future three
I like
down
Stooks.
back.
Derek Moore is right there, the edge out of
I
Michigan.
mean, you got to pick in 3 picks, right? You're 2 picks after us, then you get another pick.
60.
So why don't we just go Price, and then we can you could still get Stooks.
Danny Dennis Sutton, I like him a lot too. Oh man, this is tough.
I think I'm going to say it, guys. The price is right.
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being here.
I think we go Price.
Omar Cooper was drafted in the first round. True, Omar Cooper is not available. Omar
And if
Cooper
we want a
was drafted
receiver,
right before
a little
the
bit down. When the third
Adrian
round
says
pick,
go running back. Michael says the price is right.
see,
Dante says Price.
thank you, Michael.
We got Bear Down saying Derek Moore, Danny Dennis Sutton at 60.
Paul Rodriguez says
Rome's
Stooks.
saying. I like Danny Dennis Sutton a lot. I'm all for that, but we still don't have a safety, guys.
Paul, so I say, what position do you guys think we need? So I would go running back here and safety next.
Yeah, I think we got to go Jadarian Price if he's actually there at that spot.
I mean, you guys, if you're talking about a blue chip quality talent on offense, Ben Johnson's offense at pick 57.
You're talking about the best college running back if he decides to stay.
If he came back this year, he would be the number 1 running back in college football. Yes, and he's the number 2 running back in this draft. Behind the guy,
I'm going Price. I think we've made that argument.
Barker, it is.
Now we got to look at these safeties, man. Now you're getting to these rounds where these picks where position of need becomes more important.
Do you think Jennings?
You don't know who the best available player is.
Jennings Dunker is not a starting left tackle, right? That guy's going to end up being a guard.
No,
right?
hell no.
Kamari Ramsey's still there. Genesis Smith still
They're
there.
all still there.
Wheatley's still there. Danny Dennis Sutton is still there.
I know he's 25,
too,
but I like Bud Clark. That's a starter. A 25-year-old's a starter on NFL roster.
Derek Moore is still there. Danny Dennis Sutton is still there. You got the edges. I mean,
Phil's asking what tackles are still available. Did you already look at that?
No, let's go ahead and check it out. Let's check it out. Offensive tackles. Caleb Tiernan. I like Markel Bell a lot, guys. This guy's fucking huge. He's fun to watch. Jennings Dunker. Casey.
I don't know much about any of these guys, to be honest with you, man.
Dustin informed me Bell is like 6'9".
Bell is 6'9", like 350 pounds. It's insane.
I said this last week.
You got multiple people saying Danny.
Danny Dennis Sutton. I like him a lot. I'm with you guys.
Romy says Danny. Beer Down says Danny.
Brandon, 6'9", 345 pounds.
Adrian Fernandez says Edge. True Pilgrim says none of them are second round worthy.
NFL power or NBA power forward.
True Pilgrim, you're talking about tackles, I'm assuming, right? None of them are second round worthy. I'm guessing you're talking about left tackles.
Guys, I'm all for Danny Dennis Sutton here. It's a bit of a reach probably, but you're never going to get a chance at him again. The guy is kind of a stud. I mean, his overall grade in PFF was an 80.1 this past season. 8 sacks, 14 hits, 29 hurries. The gentleman is 6'5", 265. Senior. I mean, he's a stud. He moves too. He moves. I like
Phil
him.
says this is where Pulls trades back.
Yeah, you're probably right, Phil.
Pilgrim says Danny.
Okay, so we got a lot of people jumping in for throwing their.
Adrian says don't worry about safety. We got Bryant, but you're definitely gonna need another safety, man.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need another one for sure. We don't have enough.
Dwayne says we can get him later. I don't know if he's talking about because Bear Down said Jennings Dunker is a beast. I don't. Who are you talking about, Dwayne? You're talking about
Sutton?
I don't know who he's talking about. He says, Romy says small trade back. I don't know. You did no trades, right, Dustin?
We decided no trades. Yeah, but there are trades here.
Oh, you maybe look at them.
We could do pick 62 for pick 60, and they're what are they giving us? We gotta No, we got to put it together with PFF. I forgot about that.
That's it. Just 62 to 60.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're not doing
Oh,
that.
Dwayne says Sutton maybe will still be there.
I guess it's possible.
J2K says Sutton should be the pick here. Defensive end drops off a cliff after this.
How do I go back to?
We're getting a lot of Sutton.
True Pilgrim says not the biggest Sutton fan, but we need an edge. Well, if you're not a Sutton fan, you probably don't want to be drafting Sutton.
How do I close this out? How do I close out this trade thing? God damn it!
Mike,
Draft a player. There we go.
Michael says Allen.
I'm not doing
but
trades,
Allen.
guys. Let's get this done quick. My daughter is not feeling well. Let's get this done and get out of here.
Yeah, so then do what everybody's saying. Go to the
Danny
defense.
Dennis Sutton.
Yep. Sure.
All right, we're doing it. I think we're going to get a kind of a rough grade on this one, just based on the fact that we're reaching for a little bit.
Drafting Tony Dawson. Dustin, I'm going to ask a weird question. Is Bryce Lance on the board?
No, I don't think so.
Jessica, you flip over to safeties real quick.
Malachi Fields is still there, though. There's Bryce Lance. I would take Malachi Fields over him, though, Brandon.
You would take Malachi Fields over a 6'5", 4'3".
Malachi Fields is the same size, and he's a better player.
You're the same size.
Did you know that? Wheatley, we got to go Wheatley here, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. We don't need the chat. We're going Wheatley. I'm sorry, just not in the.
I mean, you guys need a safety. We have one on the roster. We have one safety on the
we're
roster.
going
You
with
got to
Wheatley
get
right
a
here.
safety.
If Wheatley's there at 89. I think that
is actually the position the Bears are most in need of in this draft. They have
That's
one
why I think
safety
they're going
on the
safety
roster.
first round.
One safety.
Ooh, Tyreek Sapp is right there.
J2K says Wheatley was a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Agree with you, man.
Yeah, there's no way to not take him at 89.
We watched the tape with him a couple Wednesdays ago. He's an absolute stud, dude.
Guys, I love Tyreek Sapp right here. He's the top player on the board, getting good value there. Bud Clark is still there. Tim Keenan, it's okay.
What about receivers?
Caleb Proctor, Nadeem Tucker is there. I know True Pilgrim loves Nadeem.
I mean, we addressed defensive end, we addressed defensive tackle, we addressed running back, and we addressed safety.
Kobe Lane, Caleb Douglas, Kevin Coleman, Eric Rivers. I like Jeff Caldwell out of Cincinnati, guys, but that's much later in the draft. But we're not going to have another pick.
What's available left tackle?
Okay, let's see.
Dante said, is Jude Bowery still there?
That's what I was about to check for. I know that was a Foster special.
I could see the Bears taking a tackle here.
Nope. J.C. Davis and Austin Barber. I like Austin Barber. Isaiah World. Okay, that's what you got at left tackle. Bowery's gone. So, I mean, if you guys are interested in J.C. Davis, he's still right
Justin,
there.
go to edge real quick. I know we took one already, but this is a deep quest. You might be able to get another.
Nadeem Tucker. I mean, Tyreek Sapp would be my pick here, guys. I would go Tyreek Sapp all the way. I don't know what the chat's saying.
What was his projected pick?
Tyreek Sapp, 115 is his rank. Average draft position, 113.
Well, you said they're going to get a bad grade. You draft him, you're going to get a bad grade. Not if you're drafting a guy who was ranked 1.
I mean, we're not drafting for the grade, but the guy is just, he could be anything. He's a Dennis Allen guy. He can play the edge. He can play the 3. He can move him all over the place.
Dante, we're
6'2",
not drafting
274. So, I mean, I don't know.
Tight end's the only room in the Bears building right now they're probably not worried about.
He had 14 hurries both years the last 2 years.
Paul Rodriguez brings up a really good point. Can we look at this? Can we look at the centers?
Oh yeah, J2K's guy Slaughter was
there
last time we looked, but I don't see him. Logan Jones is right there. I like Logan Jones a lot.
Yeah, so do I. And Iowa produces offensive linemen, man. That's all they do.
Yep. I bet you he'll be a starter. So I mean,
it's a reach. It's a really big reach.
And it's also, you're taking a center when you just traded for your starting center. You're taking
but he's a stopgap. He's on a 1-year contract. I don't think they're going to extend him. I think they're probably going to.
No, yeah, you're right. You're thinking ahead with that. You're not thinking about this year. Unless he beats him out eventually as the season goes on to be your starter.
So I'm saying week 7, if you draft a center this year, week 7, he could be your starter. You don't know.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, listen, let's get a definitive answer and go for it. I would go Tyreek Sapp personally, but I mean, there's
Dustin Bear Down says Sapp. True Pilgrim says Goldman from Michigan State.
Oh, the lineman.
Dante says Kyle draft a tight end because 3 years of a rookie tight end 2 after we cut Komet next year. Yeah, but you can worry about tight end next year, man.
I mean, you can. I like
There's
Eli.
a lot of holes on this roster to be drafting a guy who's going to be sitting on the bench behind the two guys you're.
You guys tell
close
me,
enough.
man. Caleb Elarms Orr, I like him a lot too. I mean, I'm good with Logan Jones here, Kyle. I really
I'm
am.
good. I'm doing center. If I'm the Bears, I'm going center right here, man. That's just me personally.
I personally think if you add another defensive lineman that can rotate, you're doing yourself a much bigger favor. But the offensive line is just as important, Kyle. So I'm good with Sapp or Logan Jones. Let's let the chat decide between those two.
Chat, Sapp, or Logan Jones? You guys want another defensive edge, or do you guys want? Or I guess he's a versatile defensive alignment, or do you guys want a center? What do you want?
Yeah, we're not picking again for a while until the 7th round after this. So this pick is important. This is a big spot for the Bears for real. Paul says Jones. True Pilgrim says Logan Jones.
My vote's Jones.
Kyle says Logan Jones. Brandon, where are you at?
Romy says Jones.
Okay, I think then that's been decided. Brandon, you got anything? Or you?
Bear Down says center.
Okay, so it's Logan Jones then. That's the best center available to me. Now, he's not the number 1 ranked center on this draft board. We're looking at.
Are you sure? It's interior offensive lineman. So.
Jaeger Burton is your number 1.
Burton's number 1, yeah.
I
like Jones better than
I
Burton,
like Logan Jones better too. I do.
We're
going to go Logan Jones.
I don't like anybody from Kentucky, man.
Our next 2 picks are 239 and 241. This is it. So
yeah, let's do this shit. Logan Jones, man. The Bears got the center of the future.
Gonna have to fucking sign a wide receiver in free agency, man. You just for depth at the very least, because we didn't draft one unless we find one here that's worth a damn. Right now, it's just a bunch of quarterbacks.
Is Vincent Anthony still on the board?
Let's see, Brandon. I know that's your guy. I mean, if he's available here, we'll do it. Nope, he is gone. He gone. Wesley Williams, his counterpart, is there. There's a reason for that.
Who was also a good player.
He's okay. Logan Fano. I don't know. What's a position you guys really want to look at? Wide receiver?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna say. I mean, at this point, you're gonna need
Josh Cameron out of Baylor. He's okay. Squirrel White. This guy's name is Squirrel. You want to do it? I want a guy named Squirrel on my team. That sounds good. Oh, Brandon, your fucking guy, Hank Beatty, is there.
Fuck yeah. Draft Hank Beatty.
Fuck that.
I don't know, man. None of these guys are world beaters. These are definitely going to be practice squad guys.
Not really moving.
But it's the 7th round, so most of these guys will be practice squad guys.
Eric Gentry at linebacker. Lorenzo Styles at safety. I like that. You can get a backup safety, special teams player. Josh Cameron.
Yeah, we need 3. We need 3 safety.
What's available at quarterback?
The guy that visited with the Bears is right there. Cole Payton. Taylon Green, who turned heads at the combine, is right there. Athletic dude.
J2K says what's available at corner.
Well, let's see. J2K's always got these sleepers at corner.
Dante says he's going Cole Payton. Bear Down says Squirrel Man.
Jaden Lucas, Josh Moten, Amari Harvey, Tyreek Chappell, Latrell McCutcheon Sr., Stephen Hall, Deshaun Jones. I like Deshaun Jones out of Alabama. I don't know. Do you see anything there you like, guys?
No.
Nothing's really blowing me away there.
I don't see anything I like anywhere.
No, it's pretty rough here.
This is with Cole Payton. Should we take a quarterback?
I would take Cole Payton if I was the Bears and all of this was available for sure.
But you just re-signed fucking Keenum and you have Bagent.
I'm saying if you trade Bagent, I'm taking Cole Payton.
But we haven't done that, so I don't know how much sense that makes. But it's up to you guys. Let's do it. I mean, Eric Gentry, I like him. I like Lorenzo Styles. Those are depth special teams guys at linebacker.
Do Lorenzo Styles because we need 3 safeties, bro.
Yeah. We're gonna need another safety, and Styles, he's got speed, and he's got the.
And he's an Ohio State player with the name Styles, so maybe it just translates.
Well, it's his older brother, right? Sonny Styles' older brother.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right, we're going Styles. Sorry,
runs
guys.
in the family, man. Runs in the family. All right, now you guys, now you can get your Cole Payton because everybody, or J2K says defensive tackle was available as defensive tackle.
All right. Well, we only went 1 pick without checking that out. Let's see. Devin Eastern, Jackie Marshall, Demonic Williams. I like that. Demonic. Okay. That's cool. No, I'm saying demonic. It's DAMONIC. I think that's very intentional. Didn't give that kid a chance. There's Sean's guy. We got to do this for Sean. Landon Robinson.
Yeah. I'm fine with Landon Robinson.
Yeah, let's do it. We're doing it. Landon Robinson. Sean loves him.
Yeah, J2K wants a defensive tackle. Let's do it.
Since he's here with us in spirit, Sean. We're getting Landon Robinson for you, bud.
All Rodriguez is Landon, man.
Analyzing your draft, grading your draft. I don't know how good this draft grade is going to be, guys.
It's to be a C. It's gonna be a C.
Let's see here. Okay. You drafted Peter Woods. You should have drafted Emmanuel McNeil Warren. We got a B+ on Peter Woods, a C+ on Jadarian Price, B+ on Danny Dennis Sutton, C+ on Wheatley, D- on Jones. Way to go, chat. Lorenzo Styles, A-. Way to go, me.
Overall draft grade B. That ain't bad, bro.
It's okay. It's okay. We got another starting safety. I think Wheatley is a starting safety. You can give us a C+ PFF, but fuck you. You're wrong. Danny Dennis Sutton, I think, is a damn good defensive end. He's going to get shit done. Jadarian Price is going to be a 3-down back, guys. He's going to be explosive in a Ben Johnson offense.
Yeah, I think
given that a C+ is kind of.
I think they're doing that because of the lack of college experience. But yeah, for me personally, if you guys really think he's going to be the best running back in college next year, then why not take him now? I mean, you might as well take the best running back in college football.
Especially where
like next year he becomes your number one guy.
Yeah, so if he's going to be drafted top 15 next year, then take him this year at 57.
Yeah, you're getting a steal, a fucking steal. Peter Woods to me is the best defensive tackle option for the Bears at 25, and I think we got it. I think we got the best.
I like the draft, man. I like it.
I mean, 2 Penn State guys, Iowa center, got Ohio State safety. We got Landon Robinson for Sean.
Notre Dame, you got Clemson. I mean, dude, look at all those schools. Great school.
What do you guys think? Let's do another one real quick. Nah, man, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here as well, man. But True Pilgrim says he would have gone Mike Washington at 57. So you would have went Washington over Jadarian Price. I think that's kind of crazy. Personally, true. I'm sorry, and I love you, and your takes are usually pretty damn spot on. But I'm taking Price over Washington all day.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. We'll be doing plenty more mock drafts coming up in the near future here. Maybe we'll do it Wednesday at the end of the show. Hopefully there's some more news out of the Bears free agency front.
Oh, everybody wants another mock. Sorry, guys. Yeah, duty calls, But Michael says I got to have that defensive tackle and that edge for me to know for sure. We could afford a running back in the second. The safety is a 3rd-round pick for me. Yeah, I mean, we got the safety in the 3rd round. That's what we did.
Real quick,
but we still got our edge and our defensive tackle too, and we got Jadarian Price, guys.
Appreciate it, Paul. Yeah, real quick, guys. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat, man. This is a huge show for us. Really super active in the chat. Hard to keep up with, man. We appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. It makes the show so much easier. We had over 100 people. Over 100 people
hit that
watching
like if you can, guys.
Yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Specifically on YouTube, if you can, guys. Go over. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, go over to our YouTube channel, 4-Star Chicago Sports, and hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you guys so much. Love you all. You guys take care of yourselves. We will see you Wednesday here on the Barely There podcast. Sean and I will, Jason, I'll make sure we do a mock draft for you guys. Dwayne says it's over. Sad emoji.
Sorry,
face.
Guys.
Sorry, man. We love you, Dwayne.
Got a sick baby. So I got to get out of here. But I won't be here on Thursday, guys. I'm sorry. I completely neglected to tell you. I'm driving to Minnesota Friday morning to go to my sister's wedding.
All right, well, we'll be here Wednesday, though, guys. We'll figure Thursday out for you guys at some point. And then I promise you guys, this Sunday, we will be starting Northside 9, man.
No, you guys have been kicking that. You guys have been restructuring that one.
Yeah, bear down, you kick ass, man. Thanks for being here, dude. We appreciate you, bro.
You rock, bear down.
Yeah,
thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for everybody.
Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed. I imagine you are with a comment like that, but you just never know. I just want to make everybody who was new tonight. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You'll see it when it comes up. You'll get the notification when Kyle and Sean and Jay are going to be on Wednesday. That way you don't miss nothing. All right. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. It's been a hell of a show. I wish I could have been in here earlier because, you guys were killing it.
Get rid of the draft screen.
You get rid of your fucking. How about I do this?
You're a fucking dick.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Bear down. We will
see
you Wednesday.